Welcome to Slamfire Radio, episode 582, recording live on November 20th, 2024. I am your lead host for the week, Dustin.
I'm Cowtown Tony.
I'm Kyle.
And I'm Random Dave. Hello.
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 Wow.
Why does it feel like I've been forever, but I missed 1 week?
I think I missed 2 weeks, and I'm
I
feeling.
think you missed 2. Maybe Dave missed 3.
I was supposed to only miss 1, but we got to the hotel and the hotel Wi-Fi was really good, but there was something that my computer was not. It took me a couple of hours to figure it out. By the time you guys were done, I was like, "Oh, this is working now! Wonderful!" But I tried. I did actually drag broadcast stuff into America so that I could do it, and then didn't do it. Oops. Oh well. Okay, so I guess we are we starting off with what we did in guns? Yeah. All right. Let's drive the boat. I'm sorry, folks. What we did in guns this week, brought to you by no one but us.
Yay, us.
Yay, go us. Looks like we're missing a couple of our star hosts. All right, I'm going to go first, even though Kyle's at the top of my list of who's here. What I did in guns, right? Yeah, I've been away for a couple of weeks, so I got to do lots of things in guns. I actually have things to talk about for a change. Very top of my list, I got to go duck hunting for the first time ever, which was really cool. Shout out to the Pitt waterfowlers folks out here in BC. Basically, Rod Giltaka of the CCFR gave me a call. He's I've filmed for him before. I've done some filming work for the CCFR over the years, and he asked if I wanted to come film him for a segment doing some duck hunting, and it was an opportunity for me to scratch that particular type of hunting off my list. I've kind of avoided it, mostly because I don't like being soggy and cold, and all of my friends who duck hunt look like they get soggy and cold, and they've never been able to drag me out. But I don't know. It seemed like a good opportunity. I haven't shot anything living, like animal-wise, for a minute. Well, I mean, I haven't shot anything living otherwise ever, but animal-wise, I haven't gone hunting in a long time.
Right, you haven't.
So, I haven't. So it was. I don't know. It was a cool experience. I was like, yeah, great. It ended up being a bit of a hassle, if I can be honest, because I already had my hunter. In BC, we've got our hunter wildlife number, the thing that you have to have when you go take your here it's called the core course. Every province has got something different for you to be able to hunt in that province. That number was not all that I needed. It ended up being I went to go get a duck license, a migratory bird license, and that wasn't all I needed. I needed a migratory bird license. I needed another. Oh, I needed the hunting license for the year, because I didn't have one because I didn't go deer hunting yet. So I needed a migratory bird license, hunting license, and I had to sign up for some more insurance, because there's some extra insurance I needed, I guess, to hunt waterfowl in BC. It's a thing. It's in the regs.
I've never heard of insurance, like hunting insurance. I thought you were talking like a stamp.
No, and you need the insurance for them to give you the stamp. So it was this whole thing. So I'm at the desk and first I actually went to the what do you call it? There's the pro shop in a Canadian Tire close by, and a buddy of mine is the guy that runs it. So it's I'll go there because they have every other hunting license under the sun. So surely they'll have migratory bird licenses, and they didn't. They were able to, they were well, we can give you your hunting license, but you still need to go somewhere else for your migratory bird license, and you need, something else. The lady wasn't very clear, but thankfully it was right close to Italian Sporting Goods, which is a shop I used to frequent. Not too far away, and they had everything that I needed. And another guy that I've definitely chatted with and spent lots of money over the years. So
they waved their hands around a lot while they were explaining it too.
A little bit, yeah, it's great.
Nice, gotta get that ambiance in.
What?
Yeah, you gotta have lots of
Italian. Tony.
It was.
It's really Italian sporting goods. It's really Italian. Okay, cool. I don't know.
That's the joke. Yeah, no, there was a whole thing. So I had to right there. I decided I can't remember. It was like BC Wildlife Federation or whatnot. It cost me $45 or $50 for the year.
What did the insurance cover? Like falling out of your boat,
It's like
or
$5 million in some kind of liability insurance that, like, my range insurance and my normal hunting insurance weren't good enough. I needed this insurance, and so I just was like, okay, screw it. I'm being paid for the day anyway, so this is kind of all like I actually got to write off my hunting license and my insurance as business expenses, which I'm fine with. So it wasn't a big deal. It just took time, but
is there that many people getting lost in the bush that now to just cover the search and rescue and everything, they just make everyone buy the insurance to cover like the search and rescue costs and that? Or
what does it cover? Is it just liability in case you shoot some other guy out in the middle of a swamp?
I'm gonna have to pull it up because it it's very specific. It's in it was in the regs. He showed me. He's like, yeah, here's the bit. You need this. I can't give you your duck stamp thing until you have this and show me on your phone. And I was like, okay, well, I'll do this here and let's just chat for 20 minutes while it processes. And it was a whole thing, but it was really cool. The guys at Pitt Waterfowlers, they've got a really, really cool conservation program. It's quite big here in the Lower Mainland. They put up a lot of duck boxes. They're responsible for a lot of growth in those species. Obviously, it's in their benefit, but it's also just in general conservation benefit. But they had some really good toys. They had some really nice guns, some great ammo, and the even their setup for their duck blinds and stuff. They had duck blinds for the dogs. The dogs had little duck blinds, and it was so cute. They were trained. I got pictures of them sitting there ready for the guns to go off, because as soon as we pop up, boom, 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 and then the dogs would just go running. And they had a blast. It might have been my favorite part, just watching how much fun the dogs were having going and getting the ducks. The guys felt bad. I guess it was just an off day. There weren't that many, as many ducks as they were hoping. I guess in this spot, it's quite a busy, good shooting spot. But that day we didn't get a ton. I got 7. I think Rod got 5 or 6, and then they got a couple as well. And we didn't get any geese. I was sad I didn't get an opportunity to shoot a goose, because who doesn't want to shoot a goose? They're terrible creatures. I mean,
they're awful
a little bit. And I wanted.
They are tasty.
That was it. I wanted to eat the goose. So
eat the hatred.
Yeah, right. Take it out.
Let the hate flow through.
But it ended up just being an absolutely remarkable day. We got some really, really nice photos too. The weather held out for us, and it just ended up being kind of a really great day. I got to know some really cool people, and yeah, I got to shoot some stuff. The ammo we were shooting was Kent ammo, and it was really good. I took a duck at 65 yards, and for anybody they were both. It was all right. A little bit of it was probably ego stroking, but it was they mostly shoot take new folks out shooting because they're trying to grow their club and their community. But Rod and I both know how to operate guns pretty decently. Not that this is our sport. I shoot at a lot of clays with friends and stuff. We got some throwers and go out into the back 40. But both of them were like, "Oh, this is really refreshing." Shooting with folks that know how to shoot, because I got that one. Rod got a bit of a hard one too. It was a really, really cool, phenomenal day. I won't forget it. And again, if you're in the Lower Mainland at all, Pitt Waterfowlers, they're a spectacular group, and definitely worth some investigation.
So is that HIT, H-I-T?
Sorry, Pitt Waterfowl. Yeah, and it is. That's their everything. PittWaterfowlers.ca. That they're on Instagram, X, kind of everywhere. They've got kind of a cool their little business card. It's not a sticker, as I was told. But yeah, we had a truly phenomenal day, and that was really cool. And then this last week, I went down to Freedom Land for a week. My partner took me on a really nice kind of magical vacation for my birthday. My birthday is not till the end of the month, but just the way our schedules worked, it was more convenient for us to take a week off in the middle of the month rather than the end.
Nice.
And yeah, so we got to. I think I found my forever place. If everything that I do now, I think I've found home. I just need to get there. but yeah, we went to this really really amazing resort for a couple of days, and it was by a waterfall, and we did some really really nerdy stuff. It was I don't want to. It was a what do you call it? Twin Peaks themed vacation. So if anybody's seen the niche David Lynch series called Twin Peaks, we went to that town, did the whole tourist thing. We got an amazing guided tour by a guy dressed up as an FBI agent, driving like he had an FBI Suburban. This is his whole business. And while we were on that tour, one of the people we met was a retired FBI agent, which was kind of cool. And all that culminated
Lots of special permissions. Jeez. Imitating an officer of sorts?
No, so he never he's very, very clear about that. Never like intentionally impersonating like a law enforcement officer anytime you get asked that. Like, no, this is a costume. I'm dressed up like I'm a tour guide. And everybody in this area knows him. Like, it's his whole business. It's his whole shtick. He ran a really, really phenomenal tour. And yeah, I highly recommend if anybody's a Twin Peaks nerd. But all that culminated in us going and visiting a couple of my friends down south afterwards. So we went and did a couple days at the resort. That was where I was trying to broadcast from last week on Wednesday, and just didn't work out. But yeah, at the end of that trip, went and hung out with some of my friends close to the border, but on that side of it, and shot some guns, which was always a lot of fun. Anytime I get to shoot anything suppressed, I'm happy and also infuriated at the same time. Like, we should all be able to do this. This should be simple. He's
giggling a little bit and then cursing under your breath.
He has this Ruger bolt gun. I can't remember what the one that takes NATO mags is.
Wrench.
Thank you. Yeah, the Ruger wrench. He got a new can for it, and I cannot get over how silent that thing is. Like, unbelievable. Like, it's just click, and that's it. That's all you hear. And we were shooting at his little range, and I'm just
cool.
I want it. So yeah, that was really cool. Oh, and I also, every time I'm there, he upsets me with what ammo and gun stuff costs. So he got like 5,000 small pistol primers for $190 recently, and I was just like, I hate you.
Where is he getting those? Every time I'm in the store, it's $125 1,000.
Yeah, he had some kind of like bulk discount from a shop, and it was like, it's not fair. That's not fair. I would happily have spent like $400 American to have 10,000 small pistol primers and just be able to reload forever, right? So yeah, I was really, really sad that ITAR exists. Otherwise, I would have buggered off with a couple thousand small pistol primers. But yeah, and then when we came home, I cried in Canadian dollars as I did some 9mm reloading of my own for a range day with a buddy that we're going to go do, because my small pistol primers did not cost that little. And yeah, that's what I've done in guns. And who next? Dave, we haven't heard from you in a million years. What did you do?
All things considered, small pistol primers isn't as expensive as they used to be. They're best price I've seen on Bullseye was $70.
Right now they're cheaper in Canada than they are down here in the States.
That's fair. But are they 5,000 small pistol primers for $200 cheap?
They're like,
no, they're not as cheap as what your buddy got. But I mean, what are CCIs going for in Canada right now? Because the Giant X are going for like $70-$80.
CCI is about $100 US, so that's still cheaper than the States.
Like my CCI that I'm looking at is like $125 US for 1,000.
I also
look for the White River Energetics ones. You must have it.
I think part of it's also just like regional things too. He ends up with some really wild, and also like he's plugged in. He's my armorer buddy from the States, so he's like, if there's a deal to be had, he seems to just know about it before it ends up out in the world.
Knows people.
He does. We've got a little group chat, and every time he posts something, I'm like,
yeah. So White River, you're looking small pistol. You're looking $12 for 100
for US
Canadian.
120
So
bucks per
100
thousand.
Yeah.
No, I'm
that's-
thinking White River in Canada is still very uncommon. I think Tanda got a batch of it. I'm
FOC
thinking it
has
might be more available in the States and maybe cheaper. Hard to say, but
That's still, averaging $500-600 for 5,000 is,
Yeah.
is like, it's not nothing, right?
Yep.
I can reload a lot of 9mm for, not a lot of money at $200. So for that many.
Yeah.
So, oh well.
sounds
All
like the whole back in my day, primers we can't give them away.
Wait, all right. Just real quick, take a tangent before Dave gets to talk. Even though Dave's got a lot more back in my days, probably than I do.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just actually grabbing a box I bought 20 years ago. Hold on.
But I'm even thinking, in the 15 years that I've been doing this, I've got lots of back in my days already, where I'm just
Mhm.
wow,
See, this is a great thing. I came in at the right time where everything's expensive, so now everything's on a trajectory downwards.
that's not how it works, Tony.
I remember CCIs paying $70 for 1,000 CCIs, maybe even, and that was starting to get up there. So
I got a box of small rifle primers. I think I bought them probably 20 years ago from LeBaron, and they were $22 per 1,000.
Oh,
Canadian.
yeah,
that's wild.
And I think, what else do I have here? I've got some more.
Don't they have percussion caps that cost cents? Per box or something? Crazy stuff is out there.
So 1,000 large rifle was $34.
There you go.
That's maybe
a good
15
comparison.
years ago. I think. Wow, maybe not even that. I think that was 2009.
Large rifles
yeah.
aren't even, the price isn't even a problem. It's because you can't even find them.
That's the thing, right? Although I do have hope for the future that things should calm down and maybe we will see ammo prices not be insane next year just because of the glut. I'm hoping there's a glut.
Be nice.
Yeah.
Be nice. Be also nice if people spun up some factories in Canada and sold to civilians. That'd be super.
I've been legit. I promise, Dave, you can talk in a second. I have legit been curious about that. I, for real, have been curious about exactly what it would take to start that, to spool one up. But you'd almost have to, have some connections in that world already and, have an idea of how to do it. It'd be a cool business.
This is
I had a
not
buddy who did
pure review.
remanufacturing, and he got the license and everything for remanufacturing in Grand Prairie.
Yeah.
And
That's pretty
I
cool.
know a few
he
people.
said there was a couple of hoops to jump through, but overall, I don't think it was that bad.
No, but the thing is, the only base enough company in the US to build a new primer house, this is not peer reviewed, but what PSA told us is half a decade there wasn't a new primer house in the US. And
Right.
PSA was the company to do that.
Yeah.
There isn't a lot of company like PSA who's that dedicated to the whole freedom over profit thing.
Yeah. Oh, I'm all for the profits. Don't get me wrong, Tony.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I wouldn't start the business for the fun of it. Businesses are stressful and hard, but especially out in the West Coast, because there are some good repro and kind of niche ammo products that I have been made out east for a long time and just don't make their way out here too, right?
Just saying, Alberta isn't too far away.
Your problem would be if you wanted to do it here, you're going to have, depending on the scale you want, just even getting permits from your local city to set up an explosive depot in the middle of town or in a
And that's very
Yeah, it depends on the scale for sure.
where you
Yeah.
want to be.
Yeah.
And then the equipment, the insurance, the expertise to assemble all this stuff, sourcing all the different stuff, even just the equipment. I mean,
Yeah.
you'd be into millions of dollars.
Oh, 100%. You need massive capital. You need a guy with real deep pockets to start that. And that's so many other ideas I've got. There's ideas, but I don't have $1 million in startup
a lot
capital.
of primer Slamfire brand.
Slamfire
Empire
primers,
radio
all-
ammunition.
Slamfire
Oh.
doesn't have the capital either.
No, it doesn't sound good. Does that imply every time you just return
That's our
the game to
Patreon again.
yourself?
Should we
This
do a
is-
GoFundMe?
This is Dustin. For just $10,000 a day, You can make sure that Dustin has his own ammunition factory. Donate now.
Will be the official.
We could do a little ad. We can have Dustin looking sad out in a
You know,
parking lot.
that
by
might work.
himself.
Instead of the Slamfire helicopters, the Slamfire
There we go.
ammo manufacturing facility.
We'll have Rod endorse us.
Oh, I love
Official
it.
ammo
We could
for
do-
the
we could do like
CCFR.
You do
Oh,
like
yeah.
a Patreon thing. Like if you're in at the like $100,000 level, like you get free ammo for a year or something.
Yeah,
All you can
yeah.
shoot, you just come out and shoot it.
That's great. Yeah,
So, yeah, let's set something up.
let's do it.
Yeah, if we get like
Someone is
$10
gonna
$10
come out
million.
with some kind of,
Yeah, of course. And
Oh.
then we're all good.
That should be enough to kickstart it.
Yeah,
I would
and then
think.
we'll have like lines of ammunition. Like we could call our 223s that are really good in ARs. We could call it the Trudeau line. The Freeland line would be like I'm thinking 45s for the obvious amusing reasons.
I don't hate any of these ideas.
Yeah.
Like for the meme of it all, I also think on the box somewhere we have to put "In Rod We Trust," just for the heck of it. Like just some
Absolutely.
like some meme munition. That would be great.
We could have like 40 cal with like shiny casings, and we'll call it Rottlestargle Tactical.
Okay. So shout out to all the listeners. Anybody with millions of dollars that they don't feel particularly attached to, we could responsibly start an ammunition company.
We will be your celebrity guys to get this going.
Yeah.
I think
Trust
the
us.
first step
Like your
is
front
try
man.
to convince FH to sponsor us. We can have a Slamfire Radio special FH munition.
No, we're talking about making our own, not.
I
having
know. I'm
it.
just
yeah.
saying that's like the only Canadian ammo manufacturer like ever commercially. I mean,
Well,
I
you're talking
wasn't
like
paying.
centerfire and that, because I mean, you got Score for shotgun ammo,
That's fair.
Challenger.
Yep.
Like
But,
there are some out
Fire,
there,
Metallic, I guess. They're kind of the only one out here.
and then there's remanufacturers.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a
But
few of
new
them.
manufacturer, right?
Yeah, new manufacturer would be cool. I'm sure that'd be the most expensive and upfront, like
Yeah, for new manufacturer, big scale retail. Yeah,
be a challenge. It would be cool though. I don't know.
It would be
And
cool.
I think FH started their roots with Reman too. So
Well, and you start out small, and then you build
Yeah.
up, and eventually are supplying the country of Canada.
That'd be pretty cool. I wouldn't say no.
Okay, well, let's do Patreon. If we can get, say, 10 million to start, then we'll start looking into it.
Deal. All right, Dave, time to yammer on about the random things you did in guns.
I sorted brass. I sorted a lot of brass. So far, I'm up to 3 sandbags full of 223. Damn it! I had a bad cold last week too, so I will be coughing a bit. Sorry.
All good.
I had bins of brass. I'm just trying to sort it all and get my gun room cleaned up and tidied. And I had forgotten when I got down to the bottom of one of these bins that I haven't looked at in probably 12 years. I forgot how much 45 I used to shoot. There's a brass bucket of 45 sitting in the bottom of this thing, and I'm like, wow, I used to shoot a lot of
big 1911, 2 World Wars.
You missed an opportunity to do like an anthropological like core of your brass buckets. Like you could have gotten a smaller tube and just like done a whole like core of your brass buckets and like, oh, and this was the part of my time when I was shooting way too much 45. I transitioned.
It was, and just above that, there's like an entire sedimentary layer of 223s from when I shot a lot of AR-15 stuff. And then I found this.
Ooh,
these little Russian dolls of ammunition always make me happy when I find them. So there's a 45, and then there's a 40, there's a 9,
Yeah.
and then there's 22. And I didn't stage that. That was actually sitting in my brass bucket when he took it out. So,
Oh, that's
Nice.
beautiful.
yeah. So that always makes me very happy when I see those. Those amuse me greatly. So I'm almost done the main crates that I have, so I just have to sort them, and then I got to pull out all the boxes from the last 15 years of just assorted little, there's 10 rounds of 308 in a box for some random reason, so I got to sort all that crap out. And then I've got some blanks and just boxes of random rifle ammo that I've collected over the years and sort of just all got shoveled into one box, so I got to sort it all out. I got perma-banned from Facebook, so that was fun. So if anybody's been looking for me on Facebook, I got permanently banned.
I thought it was 12 months or
Yeah.
6.
6 months. Yeah, I thought.
No, permanently banned. They deleted my account.
Oh, really?
Wow.
So I got a thing like at 10 o'clock in the morning. I hadn't been on Facebook in like a day and a half. And I get this email saying, we've banned your account. So I figured I was probably, me saying that something stupid. I mean, last time I got banned, it was, your muzzle brake is obnoxious and it makes me want to punch you in the throat or something. I got like a 48-hour ban for that, for promoting violence. So those are the ones I've got in the past. But this one just said, yeah, you've been permanently banned for selling drugs or weapons. Drugs or guns.
You did neither of these things.
I can.
You don't do it on Facebook. You probably sell guns legally.
Exactly. I can confidently ensure that Facebook that I've never sold guns and or drugs on Facebook. So I'm like, what the hell? So I go in and they've got a little. Normally, it gives you a here's the post that was a problem. There was nothing. It just said your account violated our policies. So I'm like, WTF? So there's a dispute button. I click the dispute button and I get an email back like 1 minute later that said, nope, you're still banned. And you may no longer dispute, and we've deleted your account. So screw you.
Wow.
And that was it. What do you do?
I know the system on Facebook is not very good. So this was earlier this year when I posted for the BTSA open house and the Canada Range Day, right?
Yeah.
And said, oh, whatever, you can't have this post here, we deleted it. Here's your appeal button. I clicked on that. It did work, but it took a while. And they also, because they deleted a post, they said, okay, we're going to throw on more bans to you. You can't make a video call. You can't do this, can't do that.
Yeah, whatever. I've had those before too.
And then after you do the dispute, they restored my post. Picture wasn't there. So bloody hell, fix my picture too. I want to show the whole thing. Who reads text these days? The young guys, they don't understand. So, and then you found out that there's a delay to they restoring your calling abilities. So it's like you're like a top 10, if not top 5 technology company in the world, and you can't figure this crap out. Come on.
I think what pisses me off above anything else is that there's no let me talk to a human being button.
Yeah.
That costs too much.
Yeah. Well, yes, exactly. There are very few people that actually work there. I was shocked when I found out how few people work at Facebook. Like it's nobody works there. Not on Facebook anyway.
Machines don't go on strike.
Well, that's true.
They don't complain about wages.
Like the thing that pisses me off is I can't figure what post it was. And somebody said, well, it was probably one of these SJWs that got mad about something you posted and just went onto your account, like freaking reported everything.
Yeah, 100%.
Probably.
Yeah. I should really delete some of my old legacy stuff. I remember the last gun I sold on Facebook when it was still allowed. I remember the great transition. Yeah, it wasn't even anything dramatic. I sold a bolt gun. And then it was like a couple weeks after that, it wasn't allowed anymore. It's like, oh,
interesting.
Oh yeah, here's another thing.
Because of them.
Yeah.
I tried to post a ad for Vortex scope, and apparently that's not okay.
You can't talk about prices on anything gun related, even in a comment. Like that's where my comments always get blocked or deleted whenever like somebody's like, oh, this. I'm like, yeah, you could probably find that for around this point, or that's worth about that. You can't do that.
Or you buy something and hey, how much do you pay? Oh, I paid this much.
Yeah.
I don't even remember doing any of that. Like, I don't remember doing any of it. And then a day later, my business accounts all got deleted too. So,
oh really?
Yeah. So I got an email that said your business account is not appropriate or something like that. So my business accounts got deleted too. So all my the thing that pisses me off is I don't know what I did, but I know I didn't do what they said I did. There's no way to. I mean, it's their platform, so do you. But there's no way for me to dispute it because they literally don't have a phone number or anything. Can't get a hold of anybody. Any of the phone numbers online are all scams of some sort. And so I lost, like, I had a bunch of friends that have passed away and stuff, and I had chats with them, or, I could still see their past posts and stuff. So that's gone. I posted a bunch of old historical computer stuff that I'd done to some of the groups that I follow. So that stuff's all gone. So that's the stuff that pisses me off, actually, and not being able to see what my community people are up to.
That's the real loss, right? Is that loss of like non-gun related community.
Yeah.
Yeah. That sucks.
Well, there's only a few social media platforms on there, right? When you were young, you started your life having a Facebook account, you put like everything on it. After, like, for me at least, getting older in age, getting later in life, I started to have
Later in life.
some more adulthood. I don't know. When I started to have guns, then you started posting these things, but you don't want this to affect. Here's the picture I take with my film camera. I develop it by hand. Things like that. It's
I love that you start off your life with Facebook. Like, I definitely had a MySpace, but
wow.
I totally skipped over MySpace.
I have blue hair and have for a long time. I definitely had a MySpace. I definitely had some alti music. I learned how to code just for that stupid page. So
Western internet, very bad and very evil. Only we have is WeChat. Okay, no
MSN
Facebook,
Messenger.
no. Actually, MSN Messenger was discontinued
in China,
last year. Yeah, because
wow, still
I don't know
alive.
who uses it,
Oh wow.
Yeah, I was on the train to when like the Outlook brand came out. I was the first to jump from the @live.com thing to the Outlook thing. But that was a thing. That was, I guess Skype wasn't quite available in China for the longest time. So that was, and I think a lot of business users back in the day did use it. So it was like a legacy thing in China. Yeah.
I was trying to think the other day of the first online, bulletin boards, like way back in the day, like or late 80s, early 90s. But the first internet chat I think I used probably ICQ.
I was going to say
a lot, or maybe AOL or MPlayer. I used MPlayer chat a lot for gaming. GameSpy chat.
I was in a lot of IRC chats. I kind of miss them. There's some legacy ones that are still around. I miss that kind of beautiful golden era of still a little bit Wild Westy. Not everything's consolidated. I don't know. It was a fun, cool time.
Yeah.
The late 90s to early mid 2000s were like the ultimate gaming internet. Stuff was still free. There was so much information out there. There weren't freaking ads everywhere on absolutely everything.
Yep.
It was the internet was cool back then, and now it's just it's like everything else. If you want to read a really good article, my wife actually sent me, was The Enshittification of the Internet. You'll read that article. It is fabulous and describes how everything goes to shit on the internet very shortly. As soon as it gets commercialized, just goes to trash.
It's sad.
It is. What else did I do other than getting banned? Oh, I was out hunting deer with my brother-in-law 2 weeks ago.
And maybe getting deer code or something?
I don't kiss deer, kids. Just don't. Didn't see any deer, unfortunately. We saw one doe on our way back to camp one evening, well after dark. Saw lots of tracks. We moved around a bit, but we had nothing. Coolest thing that happened all week, other than hanging around with my brother-in-law Dean, which I love. I only see the guy once a year, and he's awesome. Was I had one morning, he had gone back into town the last morning we were there. So I went and did the morning set, and I heard some howling, and I thought it was some guys pushing in the woods. And then I kept hearing it in different spots, and I'm like, what the hell is that? And then I realized, oh crap, that's wolves. So I'm up on this mountain by myself, and there's a pack of wolves hunting around me, and they're like pushing the deer through the woods. So I'm like, okay, maybe they'll push deer into me. That'd be cool. I'll fight wolves for a deer, sure. So one of them passed about 50 feet away from me, and that is a big doggy.
You didn't shoot it.
No, they're just out hunting. I don't
know. I would just blow them up.
I do have a wolf tag, actually, but I'm not going
to. It requires a tag?
Yes.
Yeah, I do need a tag for wolf.
No tags in Alberta. I would have killed every one of them I saw. Freaking with my pump action right here.
Nah,
Oh, yeah.
I didn't have any reason to kill him. I wasn't gonna make a fur coat or anything, so I just watched
I'll
him
have
go
a
by.
whole freaking wall,
Pretty cool.
pulse wall.
Yeah, it was pretty cool hearing them howling all around me for like 20 minutes, and I could hear them getting closer and then coming back the other way.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Bombed
Could've
up
been
some extra
eating
mags,
wolf
got
meat
my knife out
at night.
just in case. Oh God, you would want to eat wolf.
I want
No,
to try.
but it's like, so I think I asked that the last time I was on, if everybody, like, when they go out hunting, get like their wolf and their cougar tags and stuff. I always get my cougar tag because out here lots of mountain lions. So
That counts as the same.
sorry,
That counts as the same.
as this, what do you mean?
Like cougar counts as mountain lion and vice
No, no,
versa.
no, yeah, but
Yeah,
they're giant cats that live in the woods. We just call them things.
yeah, they're basically one and the same. Yeah.
Okay.
yeah. But I always get my cougar tag, and then wolves as well. Just like, you never know what you're going to encounter out there, right? So it's better to, like, I don't know. When I was hunting that deer, and then all of a sudden realized that there was a big kitty also hunting that deer, and then the big kitty clearly got the deer, and I was very, very careful about how I left that space. It's like, okay, put the 10-round magazine in the gun and walk very.
Well, if you got the tag, well, hey, look, I got a kitty and a deer.
Twofer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just
I would eat the cougar. I've heard they're actually supposed to be tasty.
My encounter with cougars, like, cougars attack you from behind. Encountered one when
Bars often.
yeah, and it's just sort of, I wasn't looking for a big cat that day. I was looking for a deer. So anyway,
You just need to practice your uprange start position then. Are you ready? Stand by.
like,
Yeah, you gotta have your head up when you're out there, because you never know what's out there with you. Like, you just don't know. And I mean, if you're out after deer, you're often the only person within a several kilometer range, really.
Yeah. Well, especially out there, like, that's why I started carrying like a flare gun and a VHF walkie with me when I'm out where I liked to go back then, when my folks had a place out in the middle of nowhere. I miss that. Anyway,
We were up northern-ish Ontario. We were out by Petawawa, so lots of logging roads out there, and nobody out there really gives a damn if you're out hunting. So you just kind of pick a spot and a road going off the main road, and if it's not marked no hunting, meh. Don't shoot what you're not supposed to shoot, and nobody really gives a damn. So it's quite refreshing versus southern Ontario, where isn't 10 feet on a side road that doesn't have a no hunting sign on it.
Really? I thought
There's nowhere to hunt around me. Like,
well, yeah, I'm thinking it's just there's so many people that's too obvious because it's freaking sidewalks everywhere and you can't, like, what are you gonna do?
yeah, if you know somebody with a farm, maybe. I've got some friends with property, but generally speaking, it's hard to get in with even a hunting crew or find a spot to hunt in, like, southern Ontario, period. There's a few crown land or provincial parks around me you can hunt in, but most of them are like 50 acres. Like, they're tiny. So
yeah,
It's not very big.
and you pull in and there's like 20 trucks lined up. So you're like, well, there's no point.
no,
So
that's cool. You didn't get a deer, but you did get a cold.
I did. I had kind of a scratchy throat like the week before, so I think something was just hanging around, and then wandering around in the woods in the cold for a week didn't help any. So Sunday, got up at my sister and brother-in-law's place. I'm like, oh, that's not good. So got in my car and drove home and was miserable for the next week. I don't remember ever being this sick other than that one time I got COVID. So yeah. So not recommended. Do not recommend. Not fun.
1 star.
1 star. Yeah, it's total bullshit. How about you, Kyle? What have you been up to?
Not a lot, actually.
All right. Well, Tony, how about you?
I ended up canceling my hunting trip because I ended up having to work the Saturday morning, work on a bid, and really Sunday was Crystal's birthday, so I was only gonna go for half of the days I had allotted anyways. But yeah, so it was, it sucked, but on the same token, I made money instead, and then wife was happy because actually I was around for her birthday. So
Nice.
Now buy yourself a new gun. Let's go.
I did not buy myself a new gun, but I did pick up some new cleaning stuff.
Less interesting, but okay.
Yeah,
I'll
less
allow it.
interesting, but I've been getting to be for one, I realized when I went to go clean my PCC that my cleaning gear has.
Are we gonna be talking about cleaning stuff very shortly? And maybe
We are,
hold on
yes.
to that?
Yeah, but so I'll save this stuff for the main topic. But yeah, I bought a bunch of Real Avid stuff, and
Well, that's good stuff. Or Snake. Or easy
I've been
peasy.
really liking their stuff. So
Nice.
I've been starting prepping for the actually I might be putting an order in here tonight as soon as I get final word. But Black Friday shopping. So looking at a couple lowers, AR-15 lower and an AR-10 lower.
Hate your face.
So. But-
Rub that in, why don't you?
Yeah,
well,
thanks,
there's a ton of Canadians coming down for Superstition Mountain next year, so Greg and I are just trying to get stuff built up. So I'm going to be probably building a couple ARs over the winter here to let people use, and because there's a big group of Canadians coming down for that, so we're just trying to make sure we have everything available.
A reminder to the listeners: Kyle didn't only buy a pistol; he also won a pistol. Announcement complete.
Yeah, that was a while
That was
ago.
weeks ago.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
I've been waiting for my pistol for, I don't know, 2 years now. That's not happening.
Well,
Do
yeah.
you want to borrow one of mine? I'll send you a
Yeah.
Glock. I'm not even kidding. You can borrow it for what? Like, what's the max out for that?
I don't
Like a
even-
year?
We should do that for experiment, just to know.
I think
if
somebody's
you
gotten
can
up to a
borrow-
year.
You can borrow a gun from your next province. Does that even work?
Ooh,
Oh my God,
There you
Tony.
go. There you
Tony,
go.
Tony, we should find out, and then I should send you my Dominion Arms 45. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, we're gonna do that just to break his heart. Sorry, all right, done talking over.
Yeah,
Ready for that?
I tried to loan one in Ontario, and the longest they'd let me loan it to somebody was a day.
Oh, really?
That
Yeah,
is
I'm like,
crazy.
Yeah, I think Alberta
Oh.
was doing 6 months or a year.
Yeah,
A month is
Yeah.
easy, no
But
problem.
Alberta's finding
yeah,
any way
6
to
days
stick it to
says-
federals.
Yeah,
And
so
Alberta's
6 months
awesome.
is easy. I think a month, a year is possible. What I've heard.
I mean, we call it Unterrible for a reason.
It's true. It is an awful, awful
Yeah.
place. Dark and depressing place.
But I'm gonna be in Phoenix for Black Friday. We're actually gonna go visit my grandpa and my brother for Thanksgiving next weekend. So I don't know if I'm actually gonna go to any stores on Friday. I'm really not into the whole Black Friday go smash a TV over somebody's head because they got it before you kind of deal.
Cyber Monday, yes. Online shopping.
Well, that's
No.
the thing. The
100%
deals are
true.
coming out, and I think we should talk about that next week. Is Black Friday deals are coming out, and
We'll be talking about some of them this week, actually.
Yeah, I put a
Yeah.
couple of deals in just because they're like this weekend stuff. So
I'm still toss up on a light for the SIG. I did check when I was in
LR7.
Cabela's. Well, so I was thinking about getting the TLR7A, but
Yep.
now I guess they have the X,
Ooh,
which is the same form factor, but you can get the USB battery for it.
dude. Okay,
So
get that.
it's really interesting because it's a USB battery. So you take the battery out, plug the battery in. It's got like a little USB port on it, and then just pop another battery in your light until your battery's charged up. Instead of
To be
actually
honest,
plugging.
I
your
would
light in.
prefer that. I'd
Yes.
Yeah,
prefer
that exactly.
Yeah.
You're not waiting for your light to charge up. You just charge the battery, pop a new one in.
That
I-
too. Also, it's just
Yeah.
a longevity thing. For
I can't wait.
Yeah.
not removable batteries.
So
I can't wait for- oh no,
go ahead.
no. I was just gonna say I can't wait for that to be a reality for all of our lights and stuff, where you can just like keep a brick charger, like USB charger in your range bag, and have extra batteries for your optics and your lights, and just everything's there.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No worries. I almost bought it. They even had a holster that would have accepted it, but it was gonna be like $200, and it was an expensive trip to El Paso already. So
But you did
starting
work
a new
yesterday.
hobby, so I was getting geared up for that too. So
Oh, and you're not gonna reveal your new hobby. Okay, what your
started doing some leather work.
Ooh.
Ooh, we should get
So.
Ian Ronco on.
So So yeah, getting tooled up for that, and so yeah, I already spent a pile of money on that, way more than I intended. It just, oh well, I'm gonna need this, I need that. So some point I might show some stuff. I'm still waiting on some stuff to get the right finish and the right work that I want to do, but I have already made a couple things. But and then once again, like next year, I'm trying to figure out, because shotgun matches are starting to pop up for next year, because USPSA is actually trying to put together an actual selection process for Worlds.
Ooh.
So I think the first one right now, well, our assistant section coordinator reached out to me a little while ago, saying that another 3-gunner, Ross Haney, was wanting to put on a level 2 next year, level 2 shotgun match to help with the team selection, and asked if I was willing to have a hand in helping organize that and get that put on. So obviously I said yes. I don't have enough. I don't do enough, so I need to do more. Which actually I don't, compared to Kelly and Adriel, I don't do much. So
Yeah, by the way, that's how Kelly lost all her weekends.
yeah.
Yeah.
For me, it's just too many hobbies at this point. But yeah, so do that, and then they're starting to come up. Like I think March 1st, 2nd, there's one in Eagle Lake, Texas, which is like a 9-hour drive for me. So I'm gonna have to figure that out, because I do want to try and make Team USA for Shotgun Worlds. So
Cool.
Yeah.
Team USA member, but dressed up as a Canadian.
no, after last Worlds with Team Canada, screw that.
Oh, really?
Oh, you don't remember that?
No, I have no idea.
I got given 2 weeks to come up with $1,000 match fee to be on Canada's gold team for Shotgun Worlds. They weren't doing anything, like nothing. And yeah, it was like after we were told that we were going to get exactly what the pistol gold teams got. So both Taylor and I were a little sour on that one.
Did Taylor go even?
No, he didn't. We both said, well, I had just moved down here, and like I said, we had like 1 or 2 weeks to come up with the match fee for that. And I'm like, I just moved down here. I can't do that.
Totally missed out on that. That wouldn't be too long though then.
Yeah. No,
I don't remember anything about it. Okay.
Yeah, so like
like
Worlds is,
well,
Shotgun Worlds 26. So yeah, like I had just moved down here. So that was like last year kind of thing.
Yeah, I completely missed on that. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, no worries. But so yeah, IPSC Canada on that cut front, I'm a little sour on. So
Oh, I'm never that.
if I can make USPSA like Team US, yeah, I hate to say it, because I'm still proud Canadian in certain ways. Not proud of our government, but still, proud of the country and the people.
Can you see?
But yeah, I don't know. Probably saying too much already.
Sorry to the listener. My saying is very bad.
It's okay to love your country and hate your government.
Yeah,
That's the
but
concept.
I will not.
Too.
I probably if I make the team, there won't be a Canadian flag on me. I'll be the stars and stripes.
Dude,
You'll be the guy that's got like eagle feathers wrapped around you.
But that is
USA everything.
that's a tall order. Like I got to get on the shotgun work, because the shotgun competition down here is a little bit stiffer than the competition in Canada. Like I'm confident, Canada, I could make the team, but it's a little stiffer competition down here. So I got to get on the shotgun work and get back up to if I could be back up to the standard I was in 19 for nationals, when I essentially earned my spot on the team.
Yeah.
I'll be happy. And I think at that point, if I can get back to that level with the mindset work that I've done already, I think I have a decent shot at making the team.
If you ever meet a guy called Adam Maxwell, say I said hi.
Okay. I see him at nationals and that. Like I run into him all the time at matches.
What do you run for a shotgun these days?
Benelli M2.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, actually,
I guess you will be
You
not
got
in
that.
the open division then.
no, I will not be open. I will not be modified. I will shoot standard.
A nice extended.
Oh, really?
tube
That's
on that.
considered standard.
Yeah,
Okay.
Just show that up. Ooh, got zombie color.
Look
Yep,
at the
so
M1. Jesus.
Very nice.
Oh yeah, I got the Briley handguard. That was part of the. So this shotgun, it was already built. Remember this. This has been a ongoing build project since I got into 3-gun back in 2015.
For the listeners, this shotgun is taller than Kyle sitting down.
Well,
And
it's
those tubes
like
run that length.
54 inches long from buttstock to.
Is it 10
Does
plus
it even
1?
fit in the
No, that's a
freaking
12 round
case?
tube.
12. Wow.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about the cases. I run the Voodoo backpack case they developed just for basically these shotguns. So,
What is there a limit for standard on how many rounds you
Nope.
get?
no, the limit is in modified, and that's the empty overall length. That's where you see those extendo mag tubes because they're empty. They fit in the box, but then they have the extendo mag tubes that they can use for modified, along with massive brakes and dots. It is basically an open tube gun.
Awesome.
Neat.
But
Nice
so like
pick.
I think this got like $1,500 or something like that put into it this past year. Like some prize table stuff, some like won some certificates. And so I didn't put all of it in money, but on an already built and proven shotgun, I still put that much into it. It's like you could go absolutely crazy with these things.
That's the difference between factory and world-class competition.
Well, if I were to build a new one, like I think I talked about this before, I started pricing out with like custom receiver and different buttstock and everything. And I stopped looking at parts and adding when I hit like $4 or $5 US.
Oh yeah, I know
To
guys
build
that
an
spend,
M2,
10
like
grand
what
on
I would call like the
so.
extreme lunatic or whatever I would come up with it for a name. for it.
Me and Dave would say that's like half the price of a extreme and computer back in the
But
day.
speaking of which, I would have to, and I really should, because I have another M2 receiver here, holds other shotgun that needs to get built. I keep putting off because I don't really have the space for doing that, and I've done it on carpet before, and that sucks to clean up after.
Yeah.
So I really
Sir?
don't want to do that again, and my garage that I have at the apartments now doesn't have an outlet except for the door opener. So we'll see. I'll have to go borrow a friend's garage or something. But so yeah, besides all the other work I want to do for 3-gun to like my long range work and that, I got to really focus. That's my two big focuses: get my shotgun back up to at least 2019 levels, and then because I don't think my shotgun's really been the same since 2019.
Just not
Lack of
shooting as
competition,
much.
right?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, I mean, in Canada, like, yeah, just all the matches are around tapered off. Didn't practice near as much, and yeah, it just tapered off over the years. And yeah, I've been shooting more, but I haven't been making it out for regular practice. So that's my own
AR
fault.
is too much fun.
Well, I haven't even been able to
get away with
practice like the AR. Like I shoot a lot of pistol matches, so my pistol is
it.
definitely.
PCC too.
Yeah, well, I toss between the two on whatever match, but so that skill has improved. But I really need to work on my long range rifle because that really hurt me this year. But yeah, with all the shotgun matches and them actually doing a selection, I gotta go and try and hit those and get my shotgun back up. But
We have faith in you.
I think Tony, you're left, eh?
I really don't have much to tell. So last week I mentioned that I'm gonna build a effing cannon of a modern Canadian modern sporting rifle for a hunting gun. And I had a good discussion with Top G North on Discord, and apparently 6.5 Grendel isn't recommended for manual action. I guess maybe it's something to do with the case design. It had its origin in the 7.62 39 Russian, kind of 220 Russian as well. So 6.5 Grendel, and then it spawned the ARC series of cartridges. They're not too high on my priority list anyway, just because if I want to reload them, which I do, they will require a 7.62 Russian shell plate, which
Ugh.
not impossible to find, but kind of difficult at this point for a Loadmaster. I guess I could do a single stage, so that's a different story. But apparently you will get extraction issues. So if you are looking into the option, maybe hit up Top G North on Discord, in the Slamfire Radio Discord. So for me, I want big old caliber, slow speed, kind of big cannon thing. So 450 Bushmaster is kind of high on the list right now. I might do a main topic on that. I'm not really considering 50 Beowulf. I guess.
Yeah, say why not 50 Beowulf?
Because 3-round magazine. That sounds dumb as shit. I guess you don't get a lot more for 450 Bush. I guess you can get special magazines. If you're not getting special magazines, like standard magazines like this will be like 4 rounds ish, which is plenty for hunting, really.
I got some 5-round 458 SOCOM mags.
There you go. But then I need to have a whole thing hanging down and hunting. I'm not going to do that. And like 458 SOCOM mags are really up there in price right now just because how rare they are.
Fair, yeah.
And one point against 450 SOCOM, since we're talking about it, is till this day, it is still not semi-approved. So things are kind of Wild Westy about it on a reloading perspective. Both 458 and 50 Bill are using large pistol primers. And I didn't know this before, but if you go look on Starline's website or really anywhere, the large pistol primer and the large rifle primers actually have different dimensions. Small pistol and small rifle would share the same dimensions. And some load data would suggest you use the out-of-spec large rifle primers to allow a higher pressure. But here's the thing, it's never semi-approved. And apparently the CIP drawing is incorrect for that cartridge regardless. 458 SOCOM, that is.
Okay.
So now you start to play a game of what is correct, what is not. A benefit to the 458 SOCOM is Faxon does make a 10-inch barrel for that. That's kind of a knock against 458 Bush is I can't seem to find a 10, 12-inch barrel length, short-ish barrel length, SBR barrel length for that cartridge in the US for mostly Brownells. I believe Bear Creek Arsenal does make one, but then how am I going to bring it into the country becomes kind of an issue. This gun, the PAR on the windowsill here, is a 16-inch gun. And it's okay, and it works, but if I'm going SBR, I want to be maximum SBR. And to be honest, 450 Bushmaster, because they're using pistol bullets, pistol powder, rifle primer, you're not losing much,
right, or
like losing anything if you're using a short barrel. So I prefer that since it's legal here, right? The other considerations are the 350 Legend, which is really not a cannon anymore. It's just a regular stray wall hunting rifle. You don't get any benefits in Alberta for hunting with stray wall, but you can. 350 Legend have the benefit of being easily accessible. It uses a 223 bullhead, so that's very nice. But it's funny because a lot of the states says you have to use a hunting bullet 357 diameter or larger, but a lot of 350 Legends are loaded with 9mm or 355 caliber bullets. So people are inadvertently kind of breaking the law, and I don't know how the chamber drawing from semi is 357, but you're running 355 bullets through it. It's a whole weird thing. 400 Legend is relatively new at this moment, so it doesn't have a lot of its supports. Apparently, it's using a 6.8 SPC bolt head, which is crazy to me because that, in my opinion, determines this cartridge is going to fail. It's not as easy to get as a 223 bolt head. It's, in a sense, as hard, if not harder to get than a 450 Bushmaster bolt head. So why are you doing that? Also, if you're using 6.8 SPC stuff, you need a different shell plate. Same thing as the 6.5 Grando idea. Only worse because how many people is loading for 6.8 SPCs these days? That's my short rant on my whole manual thumper big old cannon idea.
You need to bring like a whole like a PowerPoint presentation when you do the main topic.
I should, and it really outlines a lot of the oddities of these large cartridges because these calibers are usually reserved for a pistol.
Yeah.
So a lot of them are running pistol-sized bullets, and then if you're loading pistol with like plated bullets, which a lot of competitors would be, I love them because they reduce the splashback. You're less likely to get hit by yourself, and they're economical.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No. You're fine. I had a fleeting thought.
Okay, but you are running into a speed limit. So for most plated bullets, it's under 1500 feet per second. For a rifle, for a big powder charge, like freaking 25 grains of pistol powder compared to 9mm of like around 5.
Yeah.
You are running into speed limits where it's either going to foul your barrel, incur accuracy problems, blah, blah, blah. 458 does have the benefit of using a 4570 bullet, which does help a bit, but not a ton because 4570, most of them are tube guns. You'll be using freaking flat top bullets, and then your trajectory will look like this. Although most of them already look like that, so that's not a huge problem. I'll skip that for probably another day for main topic, or if there's more viewers and listeners who would like to suggest me a different caliber to try out, I'll be all ears. And I'm not really in a hurry for that.
I have one. How about you try a 308?
Yes.
It's a great idea.
You love 308.
Proven, it cycles well, readily available. Lots of
I do, but Dave is an insider on this, and he knows I'm going to get a standard AR action gun, not a long action AR gun. So I'm kind of limited that way.
I love.
Why do you make your life hard, Tony? Why?
I love your obsession with like obscurity. So early on, I had the good fortune early on, and like when I really started getting into guns, I made friends with Rod like years ago, and he gave me some advice that I have kind of run in that direction. When you look at like all of my guns are almost exclusively common calibers. The most uncommon thing that I have, like I've got like a 17 HMR and a 4570, and that's as wild and crazy as my calibers really get. Because he for me he'd recommended, he's like, try and stick to common caliber guns and just get very good with a whole wide range of them, which worked out well for my job, right? And then also like on the sport shooting side of things, he had encouraged me not to go super crazy racing out a whole bunch of my guns because I was definitely heading in that direction. But his point of logic there was like it made more sense to get practice and reps in with common unmodified guns, because the guns I'm going to encounter in the wild are more than likely going to be guns that don't have modified triggers, don't have extra large charging handles and bits. Like they're going, if I'm going to go somewhere and I need to run a gun maybe for an emergency reason or just for a fun reason, the guns that I'm going to encounter are going to be kind of stock for the most part, or like, and
I'm feeling attacked here.
I'm not attacking both of you.
Just because you can see your shotgun charging handle from the next stage.
But like everything that all of my guns, even like the ones that I do, like that I run for competition, are all pretty untouched, intentionally so for that. And it doesn't like I'm never going to be competing for worlds is the difference, but you put me somewhere and I can run anything that you put in my hand, and I do really.
There's something to be said. There's something to be said for that for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You got like even with all the raced up stuff, you got to get the reps. And I find this, if I go shoot, even if I shoot the Taurus, which I actually absolutely hate shooting, I go out and shoot the Taurus and then grab my STI. I'm shooting my STI much better after shooting the Taurus.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
But
my
that's the
theory is
here's the
always been,
thing.
Oh, wait, hang on a second. I want to hear what Dave's.
Yeah, let's hear what Dave is about to say.
so much the same as you with, racing out guns and stuff. I've got buddies that have gone out and dropped like insane amounts of money. Bought an AR-15, nothing wrong with it. Here's $2,000 worth of parts, and half the time the damn thing won't run. Yeah, because you've done way too much crap to it. Just leave the frickin' thing stock. Put a self trigger in it if you really need a better trigger. Although nothing wrong with a military trigger, works great. Love them. I've never really done much to my guns like you. I mean, like trying to think. I think my 1022 is the thing I raced out the most, and all I did was put a bigger charging handle on it and put a little flippy magazine release because they're handy. That was the extent of my flipperosity with the guns.
The most like real ambitious I got with modifying any of my guns, I put a good trigger in my X95. My X95 has a good trigger in it because it's a bullpup. But beyond that, yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to probably do the trigger in mine as well. It's got some sort of in theory, match trigger, but I don't think it does. It's kind of crappy. So I'm probably going to redo the trigger on that thing just because, the stock trigger on bullpup sucks.
Yep.
But I'd far rather take the money and spend the money on ammunition and shoot the living bejesus out of the thing, get used to it, or buy good glass for it.
Yeah.
And for the ammunition, my theory has always been, can you buy it at Canadian Tire if the shit hits the fan?
Exactly. Yeah.
Like you're in the middle of nowhere and you forgot your box at home. Can you just go to the local hunting store and pick up a box of whatever you brought?
Yeah.
And I've got some buddies that hunt like weird stuff, like 35 Wieland and stuff that I had never heard of. And they're always complaining they can't get ammo. And then I'll be like, oh, I finally found a box of ammo. It was only $200. I'm like, whoa, that'll knock down a bigger deer than a 308 will, that's for sure. No. So I understand, and I have thought about buying some weird calibers. I actually looked at a 500 Beowulf, and I was looking at the 458 just for fun, and 6.5 Grendel, and a bunch of other stuff. And it's just not common enough. And a 308 will knock down anything in North America, no problems. Doesn't matter what it is. So.
Yep.
I don't know. I think it's cool, Tony. Good for you. You do you, brother. You're bold.
Here's
you're
the thing, Dustin.
Eh.
All my guns in my collection right now are in NATO calibers. That is a rule I subscribe to already, except 22R, 12 gauge, 5.56, and I have 9mm PCCs. That's it. Here's the thing. I'm building a hunting gun. I'm going to shot, 5 rounds a year. I'm kind of having fun with it, in a sense. Also, blame Alberta. I can't hunt with 223. I would have taken this thing. Wouldn't let me.
Fair.
That is fair. But if you got that in 308, you could use that.
But then I have to
That
go
thing's in 308. That was my favorite hunting gun.
Then
Thing is, if you got long action,
Man.
there's so much more calibers that are available. Like,
Nope, there's only one available. 308. That's it. I don't subscribe to anything else. Extreme long action, 338 Lopwa. That's it. Done. But here's the thing. You have to go into the whole AR-10 versus AR-308 thing. I don't want to build my first gun as an AR-308. I think I'm going to F something up. So a standard AR action cannon is what I'm going to build now. Anyway.
there you
Good
go.
for you, brother. Beautiful and bold.
Well,
You do you.
we'll see how that worked out.
And we'll all
it'll
sit
be
here
fine.
and judge you when you can't
There's-
get
Yes.
ammunition.
There's 3 possibilities. You'll see the gun was a deer in a picture on Discord next year. This time,
Photoshop together.
hopefully not. Was me behind the gun. Hopefully, like this. Or Adriel is some kind of a hunting gun behind the deer next year, which means I didn't finish it. Or just the gun with no deer. I guess that's option 3. Unfortunate, but possible. And last thing I did was do more scouting. I was like, didn't get a deer. Have a deer tag. Got to do something about it.
Yeah,
Okay.
there you go. You got a few weeks.
I don't have a gun. What do I do?
Yep.
I have
Hang on.
slugs.
Yeah, you
I have a
should
12
slug.
gauge.
Slug will do 'em.
Yeah.
I found a patch of land not too far away from Calgary. So if listeners from Calgary are interested in hunting, there are quite a
Stay
bit
the
of.
hell away from Tony's spot.
Yeah. I was gonna say,
true.
don't say your spot.
No, I'm not going to say it, but there are quite a bit of agricultural public land in like northwest of Calgary. So if you go to the new and improved Alberta land map use search tool, you can find them. Get in contact
Funny,
with
That's
Tony.
where that's kind of northwest of Calgary is where I went when I lived down there for scouting out.
There you go. Funny enough, on Monday, one of my colleagues who I knew, shout out to Ernesto here, Kelly actually,
Ernesto.
got him the winning tickets for a raffle at the CCFR AGM for
Ooh.
2 muzzleloaders. I don't think he's shot them yet. Maybe we'll see. We weren't going out to shoot muzzleloaders.
Well, see, you want obscure, go buy a muzzle loader.
I want to reload though. I don't think I'm that good.
You reload every shot. It's the
You
ultimate reload.
Powder, patch, slug. There you go.
2 days later.
But remember the powder first,
Powder first.
or
Yes.
have like what is
As
it,
a
like some triple
reloader,
F? Then you could get it through the hole.
I watched that video the other day from what's his name for
My dad's got stories of doing that at like black powder matches. He, in a rush, they were cutting a stake post, put the rod down, realized he forgot his powder.
Oh no.
They had some triple F or whatever, got that in there, cleared it, loaded the next round, forgot the powder. So I had to do it all over again.
Oh no.
or you just,
See,
you know,
this episode is just
bag.
full of rabbit holes.
Yeah.
All right, I do love a meandering, lazy ripper of an episode. So but this is what happens when all the adults aren't.
Yeah,
aren't
exactly.
Here, you know?
Mom and dad are gone, and
Talk
all
about
those
whatever we
stories
want.
just remind me of why we don't use muzzle loaders anymore. Every time I talk to my buddies, they tell me about their muzzle loaders and all the trials and travails they have. I'm like, you know, we invented one-piece brass cartridges like 150 years ago, something like that. So, you know, like, just saying, just
Proven
saying.
technology.
Yeah,
I
smokeless
still-
powder, late 1800s, amazing thing.
I'm still tempted by that one muzzle loader like kit that Adriel was
oh
showing
yeah,
Bella's. I might, because it was a blunderbuss, and I want a blunderbuss. So I might
They
do
have
that.
one. They have
I
a
know.
Kentucky kid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want that mostly because of Red Dead Redemption.
Oh my. They never shot a
valid.
blunderbuss though. What the?
The original Red Dead had an expansion that was zombies, and it was like a quarter of the original map. And you got a blunderbuss in that, and it was the most OP thing to have when you got swarmed. It was great, and but like the reload was ridiculous because you had one round. But still, it was fun. All right, that should we move on to upcoming events before
Yeah.
we fall?
One
through?
last thing is just see about how my weekend excursion goes.
yeah,
Yeah,
good luck.
yeah. You're gonna come back with something.
Yep.
You lined
You'll
up.
find something.
Disappointment. That's what I'm gonna come back.
No, you'll find something. You spend enough time out there, you'll find something.
And if
Did
you're
you-
not out there,
If you
know
might
how
have,
many deer
hey,
you find.
you might have to take a little side trip into the park, but just make sure it's quick.
Yeah, just move them out, and then
But
Stop by the
anything I
deer farm on the
see
way home.
that's legal to take is getting 12 gauge slug to the face. So
when
I don't care if it's a coyote, it's a wolf, it's a deer.
Something is dying.
the area that we were in, the resort was in, we drove through this area that just naturally has a herd of elk. We like pulled over and looked.
Cool.
I was like, I wish I had a gun right now.
You look delicious.
Yeah, they did. Oh, did they ever?
They look tasty.
Oh yeah,
Beautiful
yeah.
animals. Beautiful
They are
animals.
pretty, and it's Anyway, upcoming events. Well, Kelly and Adriel aren't here to read about the maple seeds.
I
There's-
just looked. There was none.
I was going to say there's probably not much.
The last one on the calendar was November 17th.
And as far as hunting gear guy, firearms
Yes.
training,
And speaking of which, I just want to interrupt here for 1 second. Our friend Brian Bolivar managed to score rifleman with his single shot 22 dropping block, which is like
god!
Wow.
Shout out
100
to
years
Brian
old.
Bolivar. Though.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, hats off to him.
He was close when
Wow.
he shot it just for fun down in Michigan, and he was at that last Maple Seed, and he actually shot a 210 with that thing.
Wow.
It is literally a falling block 22, and it is ancient.
That is crazy. You please tell me that was on video.
It's a whole day, so probably not. But
I
will inquire.
Well, no, it's not in a whole day to score rifleman.
No.
It's been years since I've been on a show with Brian. You should guilt him into coming on, and we could make it a thing and talk about the absurdity of that.
Yeah, that is. Wow.
But it's not absurd because it's Brian. So
Brian
is one of the best shooters I've ever seen. He's certainly one of the best riflemen I've ever seen. He's way up there.
Yeah.
He's a damn good shooter, and he just gets in his head zone and figures out what he's doing and does this thing. It is impressive to watch. I very much enjoy watching Brian shoot.
I would still like him to come on. Brian, come on.
Okay.
It's like a percentage chance he's listening, and if not, Dave, you should
text him
Pretty
right
high
now.
percentage.
drag him on. I'm just having Brian Bolivar on. But yeah, so there's no upcoming events. I'm sorry, folks. It's wintertime. It's cold outside. I know they turned the winter on in the prairies, is my understanding. Like winter got switched on the
Like
other
the
day.
tap's getting opened,
A
yeah.
lot of snow. People.
Like Saskatchewan, Alberta, like it just flipped on the other day. Like it was just like, oh, we're in winter now.
In
but-
Calgary on Monday, people lost their minds. They don't
Yeah.
know how to drive anymore because it's Calgary and first snow. Well, we had first snow twice because it was freaking a month apart.
We saw just a little tiny bit of snow from the big bomb cyclone thing. They got a new word, their new term that they like. So it's been really, really funny watching people in the news express. No. See, it's not a new term that we like that we're going to use all the time to scare you now that this big thing has happened. It's actually the technical term, and we're going to use it more because it's the technical term that we haven't used in 40 years, but we can use it now. Here's another fear button. Let's push it.
Yeah, I saw World War III just dropped that people are dropping bombs and putting them into cyclones or something.
Yeah, no, it's anyway. I mean, I did like legitimately a bunch of like. Thank goodness we've got the island as a giant shield. I'm not a fan of the island, so I've been entertained that they've been taking the brunt of it, and we got a little bit of wind. Here.
Apparently, Stanley Park wasn't doing too hot. So.
No, it's right on the water. Like we're like where I am here. We're up the mountain. It was a miracle the power didn't go out for a change. But anyway, moving on to news. Montreal Gazette. I should have opened these beforehand. I'm going to open this one, but apparently we on December 1st are marking quite the occasion, the 25th anniversary of the Canadian Firearms Program coming into force in Canada as part of the Firearms Act. So,
yay!
Let's celebrate by canceling it.
yeah,
so much better a place of all the billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars we've sunk into that thing.
I would love so much if we marked the last anniversary of the Canadian Firearms Program.
It's such a cool number. It lasted 25 years.
25 years, and then we brought in something much better.
Yeah.
Good run.
I know Tracy Wilson had posted about this too, but I know they're still chasing after trying to get more assault, like Pauly Soussivier is trying to get more assault weapons banned in Montreal. Apparently they don't like the WK any more than I do, apparently, because they've got lots
Different
of pictures
reasons, though.
Yes, different reasons.
Yeah, so apparently our taxpayer-funded anti-gun organization isn't happy with the destruction of the firearms community that they've gotten so far.
They will never be happy. Even if they succeed in getting every gun banned, I swear they will not be happy.
No, then they'll go after bows and anything else that's potentially dangerous until there's nothing left, and it doesn't stop.
Yep. Well, they're asking for another 450 models be added to the ban list. So.
I'm sure they are.
Despite the fact that we can't get any new semi-autos pretty much anyway anymore because of the stupid magazine thing.
Yep.
Crypto.
So, crypto, yeah.
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 We won't talk about the crypto.
I won't talk about it. No.
I have feelings. I think that's more or less it for news, unless anybody else had any exciting news that didn't get posted here.
I mean, like Tony brought up World War III because Biden decided that it was a very good time to authorize Ukraine to use the ATACMS.
Attack them. Come on. That's a great name for a
the guy who
Yeah,
came
it
up
is.
with that probably got a promotion. He's
Yeah.
like,
Absolutely.
ATACMS.
or something.
Listening to people
Yeah.
talk about that weapons platform, just the
Yeah.
attack them. Like,
They probably came
Yeah.
up with him, and then they had to like backronym it. They're like, "This sounds cool. Let's like make some ridiculous, stupid acronym up for that."
Yeah.
I love those ones.
It
I
just-
want-
Glad they're hitting them. Good. Fine.
I just love the timing. He doesn't.
oh yeah,
He doesn't care.
I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm actually glad that they're hitting them too. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I got something that's related, but not.
I hope that it gives North Korea a second thought. I don't know. I was watching an interview with like former head of the CIA or something, but he was also he was part of like the implementation of that weapons platform when they did Iraq or Afghanistan. Anyway, he was talking about this platform, trying really hard not to smile as he's describing how functionally awesome and useful it was for them. He's like,
Giggling
Yeah.
just a little bit.
we got there was a grin, but he's like, yeah,
We
we
killed
got
so many dudes.
Yeah, he's like, he's rattling off. He's like, yeah, they're really, really great for dealing with large like formations of military forces and clearing out. And they're incredibly effective at dealing with air bases and stuff like that, like with cluster munitions. The way he was talking about it was like, oh my God, you are talking about that the way I talk about guns, and trying really hard not to be super excited because it's
Yeah.
kind of
Because wait a minute, this is the public sphere, not some of my military guys.
Yeah,
So
I'm not supposed to be this
I'll have to
excited
use,
about
like,
this.
the catchwords that no one will get upset about, rather than the scything wave of metal submunitions that spread across, kill everybody.
right.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm happy
Yeah.
we're finally letting them hit them, because it is total bullshit. This is how you lost Vietnam, guys.
Mhm.
Literally how you lost the entire war.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you
So-
can't hit the guys and they can literally sit at the border and wave at you and you're not allowed to shoot back, that is
Well,
ridiculous.
like I'm mixed on the whole thing, but on the same token, I agree. But it's also funny that you send this stuff to them, but you're just like, no
don't
touchy.
use it.
Yeah,
Don't use it for what it's
we
intended
sent you the
for.
stuff, but no touchy.
I kind of I'm with you. I'm pretty mixed on the whole thing, but I have feelings that like this might be like, obviously the beginning of the end is certainly coming, and everybody kind of knows it. I feel really bad for folks in Ukraine right now because
Mhm.
the Russians made a concerted effort just to completely attack their whole power infrastructure, and
Well, and
it
then
is
they,
going.
oh, go ahead.
Sorry. No, go ahead.
But and then they also reduced their threshold for using nuclear weapons, which
Yeah.
people are surprised about. Like people are surprised that Putin did that. Really? Like
Why is he surprised about it? I don't
You
get
know,
Yeah.
the stupid thing about that is,
so
who cares? Who cares? He's not
he
going
would
to
have used them if he wanted to
through
anyways. It's just a move to, hey guys, like it's posturing.
Exactly.
I've tried
That's all it is it's posturing, and I can't wait till January because while I'm not diehard Trump, he actually has a pair and people actually respect him, and people as in like other countries and that
Yeah,
actually
or-
respect him. Like
I think there's an awearness that he's not afraid to push the button. So there's always been that cheekiness with Putin over this whole thing. Like, yes, we'll use nuclear weapons if you guys, and like Trump's like, great, we got more.
yeah,
and-
we got a whole stockpile that we built that we said we wouldn't use, but I'm sure we could dust them off.
and I think like the reality is because like everybody's very like there's people ask like World War III, it's going to happen. It is in nobody's interest. Nobody's interest
No.
to end the world.
No.
It is in everybody's best interest that the world keeps turning, that we don't destroy like 1/3 of our entire global ability to produce food, and then a large scale nuclear exchange could do that. So like I wish people would calm down a little bit, because I do actually think what's going to happen with, like, we're already seeing Ukraine be able to use those weapons now. They're going to be able to hold on to that little tiny crappy piece of Russia that they took for themselves. And when in come January, when Trump takes over, they will have their one crappy little bargaining chip, and they'll negotiate some kind of a land trade, and things will probably calm down. And I think everybody's ready for that.
Yeah.
And guns
the
are going to be
problem is-
cheap again. Or
Yeah.
No, you know what? Ukraine's never gonna. They're
They're
never.
sending stuff back.
They'll be like, send more
Yeah.
more stuff here.
Yeah.
They're going to be.
surplus.
Yeah,
surplus.
we need to fortify. Yeah.
Well, I saw somebody, not to go off on like a random like tangent like that. There was somebody talking about how they will, once like the war is done, they will be the most like well fortified and insulated with like drones and things like that. Like I can just imagine they'll never let that happen again, ever.
No.
Yeah.
No. But yeah, that's enough to talk because I know people feel weird about that. So
I did have another piece of news, which was more funny than anything. It is on world stage, and apparently G20 feels the same way as we do about Biden and Trudeau because they took their big family picture without them.
I
Did
saw
they
that.
really?
They did not wait for him to get there. They're like, hurry up, take the picture. And you could watch the video and people are like, oh, just wait for them. And no, everyone's done. They're leaving. And they're like, yeah, screw you guys.
Beautiful.
And like, there's been this whole round of meetings and Biden's been thrown in the back row and no red carpet or anything. It's been hilarious.
Well,
Trudeau
Biden's
talking
really
to empty
over,
rooms.
right? He is not rerunning.
He's over,
He's
but
lost
he's not
it.
acting like it.
Well, and Trudeau isn't acting like he knows that he's over.
Yeah.
Right. The thing that makes me the most. I know it's really like petty. The thing that makes me the most happy is knowing that he's probably, at least in the short term, damaged whatever the job he actually wanted after being prime minister. Like he's not going to have that. He doesn't have enough world respect
He
anymore.
has no world respect. Like,
Well,
Don't get me wrong. Like, oh, sorry. Go ahead.
the problem with him is that if you look at what past prime ministers do, they're mostly lawyers or consultants of some sort. Like they actually had a real job.
Yep.
So I'm pretty sure that, like drama teacher, ski coach or snowboard coach, I don't think that's generally where ex leaders of entire G20 countries go. They usually go to work at a law firm like his dad did, but the dude has no frickin', I mean, he's a public speaker at best. That's the thing he made the most money at. And I hope to God no one pays him a penny for the rest of his life to come talk to them about how he destroyed Canada. I dearly hope. He's got more money than he needs to anyway. Like the dude's rich, so he's fine. He could sell his stupid car for $2 million if he wanted to.
Well, it's not even that. Like
he just dies in, and I'm not going to say I hope he dies in a ditch, but I hope that he runs out of money and dies in poverty somewhere. That'd be super.
It makes me sad. I read somewhere that he, as divested as he is, he has some pretty heavy interests in a housing development company. So he's actually going to make money off the back end for destroying the housing, industry here, which sucks. Screw him. Can't wait for him to go away. But I apologize. This is me being political.
This is not a political show.
No, I
It is
just have
funny that he's at the children's table though, where he belongs.
right. And just seeing that, like, collectively, the world is kind of like, okay, go away. Whoever, we'll wait till we can talk to the next guy. We're done with you, and so is everybody else. So.
I don't like that because it puts Canada in a really crappy position, and I don't like being sort of hilariously amused that people have such a disdain towards the guy running the country. But I'm like, well, he desered it and he's earned it, and he's a scumbag.
He has absolutely earned it. Yeah.
I hate what it means for us because I agree. Like, I don't know. I know for myself personally, because Kyle, you're talking about being down there and you wouldn't wear a Canada flag if you were, being, and I wouldn't blame you. If I make my dream come true and I can move there, I will be the most flag wavingest, America loving person in the world. I'll never come back here if I can help it. And it really sucks because I had a lot more patriotism when I was younger. I felt very patriotic about this country, and I've watched as that has been systemically ripped down, in no small part, courtesy of our leadership, and being told, no, it's not okay to be proud of where you're from and be proud of your country, and by the way, we're actively destroying all those things that make your country great and a place to be proud of being from, and now we're just an embarrassment that, there's bilateral conversations being had that aren't involving us. There's we technically shouldn't even be like a G7 or G20 nation. We think not good.
The Canadian, well, I had it. I was gonna say what it means to be Canadian. The Canadian image, it doesn't exist.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you have a leader for 9 years that
National
says we're a post-national state. Yeah,
Yeah.
that
No core identity.
no, and that's instilled by a lot of folks that are just like, our core identity seems to be we're not America, which I think is a bad bar to be measuring yourself by in any way.
Yeah.
That's a long-term thing, though. I mean, that is certainly the thing we're the most proud of as a country, which makes me sad.
Yeah,
But yeah, the whole you should be ashamed of your country. You know, our past is nothing but racism and misogyny. It's a terrible, terrible place. Like, it embarrasses me that the guy in charge of the country seems to be the most embarrassed about the country. Well, not even embarrassed, just he's lecturing and smug about the whole thing. But people a lot of Canadians seem to have an issue with the America fuck yeah stuff. But I will say, when you go down to the States, when I go down to the States, and there's just American flags everywhere.
Yep.
I am so happy to see that. I'm like, these people are actually proud of where they live.
Exactly. There's something to be said about, pride of country.
Yeah. Well, it was like, so my partner, Tyler, like when we were down, he hasn't been down very many times, right? And that was the first thing he noticed. Big, huge American flag, maybe 10 minutes from the border, and then just flags everywhere, people's houses, on cars. He's like, and he said it. He said the same thing. He's like, I really love how patriotic, like they actually care about where they're from, celebrating that. And that's a cool thing. So I don't know. I think that that's really cool. And on that note, let's move on to new gun stuff.
Oh, here's a comment from Mondak. He's in Montana. And he says, we have almost as many Canadian flags, at least in the north.
That makes sense.
I've noticed that too. When you get into northern-ish Ontario, there's a lot more Canadian flags than there are.
That's fair.
Funny, I don't think I noticed that, but yeah, it's funny because
that's because in Alberta you can't see them; they're behind the F Trudeau flag.
It's fair, I guess. But
are those still allowed there?
Freedom of speech, right? I don't.
Whether they're allowed or not, I think
exist
people
here.
still put them up and fly them.
Yeah, I know the freedom of speech thing doesn't fly in Vancouver anymore with those flags, but yeah. Anyway, on that note, new gun stuff is brought to you by Bullseye North. Need a new boomstick? Bullseye North is Canada's shooting superstore and a proud supporter of the CCFR. They have a wide selection of guns and top trending gear for any shooter. Free shipping over $250, which includes ammunition, or $17 flat rate shipping for orders below $250. Some conditions apply. Subscribe to their weekly newsletter to get the first access to the hottest deals. Oh, nice. We got a crawl and everything. I love it.
I remembered to actually put it on this time.
And yet again, I've got to open this. So it looks like there we go. That's our deal at Bullseye. The
ISNC SPA. It's still a straight pull, toggle linked action. This one apparently has a carbon fiber barrel, which is very fancy. You can actually get the non-carbon fiber standard barrel for $10 less, but I'm not too sure this is correct. Do confirm with the very friendly customer support staff at Bullseye North. The empty weight shown here is 1 pound less if you get the carbon fiber barrel. So that's very interesting. Not
that's
too
a good
expensive.
No, I do have a real affinity for inexpensive 22s. I think that's the only Bullseye North deal we've got up there. Tony, did you have any more there before I move down the list?
Yes, I'll talk a few things about first today. Cabela's have the 10% off picking up. So also, this is what I bought. I borrowed one from listener Thomas on my last hunt. Thank you, Thomas. And this is very nice if you're sitting on a tree stand, tree stump, whatever you're sitting at. I guess except if you brought your own chair. It's got the heated seat. It's kind of a foam padding thing that's waterproof, so it will isolate you from the cold, usually snowy and wet surroundings you're on.
Even if you have your own chair, a heated seat is just a wonderful, wonderful thing. If your butt is warm, it's a beautiful thing. I love mine.
So they have it for $12, and you can get a preview about Cabela's Black Friday deals. They have their flyer out. One of the very interesting thing I saw is the Savage Model 110, which just says they have a 135 because of the $100 rebate.
Oh,
But
wow.
surprisingly, it's not available on the Savage Arm rebate site yet. So are we getting a preview of a preview? I'm not too sure.
Interesting.
Maybe. They
I-
have first-hand information on that.
There must be just like some really good deals on Savage, because the one thing that I had noted as well is the once in a lifetime insanity sale happening at Reliable Gun in Vancouver. That's November 23rd in store, and I think 23rd, 24th, and I think 23rd, 24th online, or it might be 24th online. But yeah, the one like good deal that I like, they've got really good deals. Go on their site, check them out. There's a whole bunch. Like, they've got a big list. It's not visually very pretty, but the one thing that I clicked in for folks that might be interested is a Savage 110 Hunter with a Vortex Viper combo, 50% off on November 23rd and 24th. If you can get half off for a gun, you can buy 2 guns for the price of 1. So
Sounds really good, though.
Yeah.
But it's in
Right?
store.
yes, it's an in-store deal the one day, but I think I saw that you could do it online the other day. I'm sure it's while supplies last, so that probably won't be around very long. But they've got lots of good stuff. People should check them out. Reliable Guns been really, really cool, and I've spent many a paycheck there. Can confirm, good folks and often good deals like this. They've also got some decent deals on ammo, but they're kind of your average sale price on ammo. And did you have there was a Chiappa Big Badger?
Yes, it is on CGN. So someone asked about the Big Badger 3030 and Canada's gun store. So CGS said North Silva would have it, but they haven't said. So I did a little bit more digging into it. It doesn't look comfortable. So everyone knows about the Little Badger, which is their 22 foldable survival type gun. I guess they're making it.
Oh, that just
Oh,
that
that's-
looks like you just absolutely hate your life.
I want that.
It
Don't
won't be
want that.
lightweight. It doesn't seem expensive. If you're
Yeah,
only shooting 3 rounds a year,
It's almost $400 for a couple pieces of wire for a buttstock.
but
Yeah.
it's Alberta legal for hunting.
But,
yeah,
so
but you're
there's a
gonna
lot
get
of-
one. No,
No.
no.
Yes,
That
No.
doesn't
it's
need
gonna be so. It's gonna
You
be
can spend that
lightweight.
same amount of money and find a different rifle for hunting in Alberta. Just no.
Yeah,
I will
you know what?
say with wire stocks, they don't tend to be the most stable or accurate of devices.
which is fair.
For $200 extra, you can go get this Savage 110 with a scope, and a Vortex, Viper scope is really good for like $500-600.
But
Like-
you have to be in Vancouver.
Okay, I mean, there's worse places to have to be to get a deal like that.
You know somebody in Vancouver.
Yeah,
Yeah,
do you,
I was gonna say,
do you
no
want
guy.
you want one?
I don't
Oh,
know how much it is. I need to look into that. But what I really wanted, yes, I don't like the wire stock, but what I really wanted is a double Badger, and apparently they had one. They had, well, it's on 308. I would prefer if it's in 308, but it's an over-under. So usually
410,
what they're
243,
known for
interesting.
is shotgun on top and 22 on the bottom. It's like one bigger, need big game. Okay, so they have a 243 was a 410. So
Yeah.
what it would be ideal is I would prefer if it's
30s
double
and deer.
rifle, to be honest.
There's your
308 on
that's your
top,
perfect deer
42.
gun. You got your shotgun for when you're walking through and you get some grouse, and then you got your 243 for when you get your deer.
Yeah, but currently unavailable. I'm not sure why.
Because they don't
Wow.
have any.
because
I'm slightly insulted by the currently unavailable part. Yes, I'm over 18. Thank you.
Tony, I could get you a good bolt action with a scope in a reasonable hunting caliber for apparently like less than $600 before taxes. So
Except Canada Post.
There's a
We should mention that in the news. Canada Post is on strike, so a lot of shootings.
there's
Guys
Loomis.
are- yeah,
There's other places to ship
Yeah.
through.
yeah, or I hold on to it until the Canada Post strike ends, because that'll happen. Or you could
Yeah.
come for a visit. That's
Like,
also possible.
You can almost bet the strike's going to end before Christmas.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's not gonna, it's not gonna last. And
Not making your life hard, Tony. Just buy a normal gun.
yeah, just
Don't
one
build-
normal.
Quit being so contrarian.
Ugh.
One last thing, I guess it's because I like to bash on Canadian businesses. So I guess maybe get your PAL ready if you're trying to make a purchase on Tenda. CGN users having, I guess, not a great experience with them. Apparently, they asked for his PAL for, I don't know, scam reasons when he's buying a flashlight. That's kind of interesting.
If I had to bet, just from, because like Tenda's not just Canada, right? Like that's if I had to guess, it might be for like ITAR related reasons, because if it's a gun related flashlight, there's a lot of that stuff that's still technically
Tenda's in Canada though.
Yeah, that's fair,
a
but like
lot of these things, there's more to the story.
yeah,
I guess.
always, right? Like who knows if he had ammo in his cart too, or like there's a whole bunch of gun parts that you need a PAL for now. Like you need a PAL to buy a magazine. That's new.
Or it was an honest mistake by a new employee. Because if I tell you, if they're asking for a PAL for a flashlight, you'd be seeing more than one post on CGN about it.
Yeah, I mean 20 people.
Yeah,
Boycott Tenda. They're saving our PAL info.
yeah. There's got to. I'm not saying that the guy is intentionally lying, but there's got to be more to the story.
There usually is, right?
Could be he
Yeah.
did publish his order info, and it looks like just a flashlight there. But
See, that sounds like something that should
What
be.
to say?
Somebody
news.
made a
What to
mistake.
say?
Whatever.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Okay, well, keep an eye out for Black Friday sales. They're coming out. I know Brunel's is posting stuff, and we do have Link. And yeah, I'm sure there's all sorts coming out now.
That's fair. So, I mean, an hour and 40 minutes in, should we have a nice tight main topic?
Sure, we've kept a really tight ship so far, so I'm sure we can stay on track.
A little swing from side to side in the breeze. But
We have to
I'm
have
actually,
capsized a few
I'm
times.
actually-
Like
I'm
we've gone to
actually
Land's
done,
End
guys.
and back a few times now.
True. I'm done. I can't talk anymore. So
No.
yeah,
Aw.
I'm out.
That's-
But I will tell you what my cleaning stuff is. So I bought the cheapest cleaning stuff I could, a good rod, lots of patches, and bottles of CLP. That's all I use.
Okay,
absolutely.
Fill it full of CLP, wipe everything down, have a nice day.
so you are still on the patches.
I like patches.
Yeah, I like patches.
Oh, it's good because there's lots of different stuff out there.
Now, do I actually clean the bore until it's clean? Nope. I run a patch down with some CLP, let it sit for a few minutes or some hops, and then swab her out, run some oil down it, throw it in the gun safe, and call it a day. So I'm not a fastidious cleaning sort. I don't care all that much as long as the gun functions.
I used to
Watched one of my target shooting buddies clean his gun a couple months ago, and it was painful. It was
Is he a
painful
Ventress
thing.
guy too, or something else?
It looks like an hour process. I'm just like, I don't know, dude. Like, you're shooting 1,000 yards with iron sights, good for you. That's awesome. But yeah, just
Iron sights. Wow.
it's quite impressive. Yeah, but
That's
given
not
how long it
realized.
takes them to clean a gun and how long it takes them to break a barrel in, it's like, what do you do to break barrels in? I'm like, I put ammo through it. I go shoot the gun. It's like, you can't do that. You gotta fire around and then
clean it.
you know, bathe it in some goat blood under the full moon, and then play Magic the Gathering around it for half an hour, and then do this and that and the next thing and all these things. I'm like, yeah, I shoot the gun.
Yeah.
And then I run some oil through it and throw it in my safe, and then I go next week and shoot it again, and it seems to shoot okay. So whatever.
I used to be so much when I had time. I loved cleaning my guns. Now I do the bare minimum to keep them operational. Like, oh, that gun's getting too dirty. Let's rip it apart and give it a real quick clean. I used to I'd love that when I'd sit in front of the TV for hours, just rip apart all my guns and
I'm the
clean
same.
them.
I used to take everything apart, disassemble the trigger group because it was fun and I enjoyed it. Now I'm like, meh. AR-15, I don't think I ever took one of my trigger groups apart. I'm like, look into it. Don't see any shit rattling around in there. Squirt in some lube. Run the hammer a few times. Good to go.
That's the way to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta go, guys.
All right,
Take care.
see you, Dave.
Night, show.
So, for those of our listeners who don't know already, our brief main topic is going to be on gun cleaning kits, and I guess just what do we use, and what should we have? Because I believe Kyle's building himself a new kit right now.
Yeah, I'm kind of getting new gear together. For the longest time, I had actually gotten off the patches and just bore snake. So,
yeah. No, that's fair.
Yeah, so I had gotten bore snake, the wire brush, like my shotgun. That was actually the big thing that kicked us off. Is apparently all my cleaning rods are not with me. So I used to actually put a cleaning rod with a wire brush in my shotgun and just run it through with a drill.
Oh,
to get all the plastic out of the bore, which is probably due for. So, but I had gotten onto the bore snake thing, and it worked for the pistol, everything. Works fine for the pistol. Actually, I didn't have a 9mm one, so I have 12 gauge and 223, and then my pistol, one of the kits that was just cables, and I had short cable, so that worked for the short barrel of my pistol. Well, I now have a 9mm rifle, and that's when I realized, oh, where's all my cleaning rods and everything, and realized that my cleaning stockpile that I used to have a lot of didn't make it down here. I kind of brought like what I used for competitions, and that was pretty much it. And we were in Cabela's, and like I'm diehard hoppies. Like I've been running this. This is an old bottle of hoppies here.
Yep.
The old glass bottle. But I picked up a new thing of hoppies.
Nice.
I know this is going to be running out, and I haven't been able to actually soak with this because I've only had such a little bit of it left. So finally picked that up, and then I was looking at a bunch of their like Real Avid kits, like I was saying earlier. I really like what they've been doing, and like they have the big all together kit with the mat and everything.
Yep.
But I ended up just picking up their like all-in-one brush kit.
Yep.
It has the cleaning rod. It comes in its own case. Like, yeah, okay, I have a few cases, and you can set that on the table, and it's just everything.
Oh, I like that.
And everything's just accessible right there.
I really like that. And that's still nice and compact. Like,
yeah. Like I could still put this in my bag that I have the cleaning, and then, like I said, that over time, I'm sure everyone else experiences this. You end up like you have stuff and then you don't, and so I picked up some more like just a little scratching tool set.
Yeah, little picks and
and yeah. So I kind of want everything in one case, but it's got separate cases, and the stuff will still fit in my cleaning bag.
Right.
And while I was there, I decided to try out their bolt brush thing. So that's it's got basically every little thing for your AR bolt, and it's just one of the things with Real Avid that I really like. Like
that is very interesting looking. So
they're just putting
it's like a triangular.
It's triangle, like Swiss Army knife for a AR bolt cleaning, like scraper in that.
That's cool.
So I mean, I have the scrapers, but I saw that and like, you know what, I'm gonna grab that to try out.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
Have you put it to use yet, or still?
No, I have not.
Yeah, it's brand new.
I'll be honest, I took it out of the box tonight before the show. Then I grabbed their chamber brush and swab. So I've had these swabs for 12 gauge. Yep. Absolutely love them. Like doing the wire brush and then the swab. That's if I don't have like the bore snake. That's what I will do.
Right.
You know, maybe I'll run a patch with some solvent down it, but the brush and the mop or whatever, I really like those.
Yeah, no, I'm a big fan of those as well. So are you building yourself one complete kit, or are you going to build yourself like a smaller take to the range kit that can like fit in an existing range bag?
Well, this is basically, that's how I've kind of operated. I just have one kit. I use it at home, and it's so easy to take, and it just fits all in this bag.
Nice.
So in the sides of this, I have some other cleaners. This Prolix, I actually like this Prolix. It's pretty good for a lubricant. I also have, there's copper remover. I just have random stuff if I want to try it in here, because you end up getting a bunch of stuff. I do have like Lucas oil. One thing I found with Lucas oil is it leaves a film.
Ooh, don't like that.
Yeah, so that was something interesting, but I like the needle bottle, so I will use this on my pistol because it's just nice with that needle bottle.
Yep.
But this kit will probably change a little bit because of those cases, because usually I have like a little spare parts kit in here as well, which might not be able to fit. But yeah, just a nice, easy, small grab. So like I have this, which has been already robbed a little bit. I have Q-tips in there as well for cleaning.
Always important.
Yeah. So yeah, it's basically like an everything kit at home and out on the range.
I have two kits, so I've got a really big range bag. Like I'm unapologetic about the size of my range bag. It's a giant duffel bag, and it has everything in it. There's spare ammo for just about every gun I've got. Every kind of thing that I need, and I always have a smaller, like, essentially like the whole cleaning kit, ramrods, all that stuff. Because also, like, you never know when a case is gonna get stuck in your gun or something like that. I try to tell everybody, because it's usually my ramrod that gets used to get people's barrels unstuck, because nobody else shows up to a range with one. And I take my Apocalypse range bag with me to the range, and so I always have kind of the basics. But I can't believe it's not sitting here. I should run down and grab it real quick. My bigger at-home cleaning kit's actually just like in a big toolbox that's just labeled all my gun cleaning stuff. It's kind of nice because I've got all my picks on the top, and I should go grab it. Tony, do you have any cleaning stuff to talk about while I'm away for like 30 seconds? Great. Talk about it.
I don't clean my guns that much. I lubricate my gun a lot because PCC is all you do, right? I guess
You got to clean the carbon off and everything.
you got to clean the carbon off-ish. So the cleaner I use a lot is M Pro 7. Hot Piece is good. I don't really smell it too much, so I think it's okay. I know a lot of people like.
Oh, you can't beat the smell.
It's a continuous joke that you smell it for fun, kind of thing. I didn't discover.
Oh, that's just not a joke.
This kind of a. Let me share my screen here. I did not discover this kind of a solid brass jag until pretty late in my shooting career, and I think this is much better than the patch jag kind of thing. You just stick it on there, you push it through, and that'll get your board clean enough for my likings. I was educated by Taylor saying don't clean your gun too much. I don't really have a problem not cleaning my barrel. For most of the newcomers and beginners, I would really recommend the Real Avid Bore Boss. They're pretty self-contained and easy to use. You can pull on, so it's like a bore stake where you have a cable that hooks to the handle, so you pull on it, and that gets, I'll say, 90% of the cleaning done. I do like to use some kind of a pretty normal cleaning kit, like anything you can find from Kibos, for example, their Range Max brand. Just for the bronze brushes, I do like to use an oversized brown brush to brush the chamber clean, just because how many rounds I'm putting through most of the spore shooting / competition guns that I'm using. I use Ballistol for most of the exterior of the guns. It seems to be pretty decent on wood, and it is safe for that. And Alberta's pretty dry, so like corrosive resistance really isn't a huge consideration. I just need something on there so it's not completely raw metal on there. And for lubrication, this is unconventional in a sense. I use a lot of full synthetic motor oil, and they seem to run quite well. Just as a lubricant, not as a protectant. So don't put it on your wood, steel things you're trying to prevent rust on. Just internal. So that's how I've been running my piece, like both of my PCCs, the Keltec and the K9, for the past year. They run well. So that's kind of how I maintain my gun, basically. Also, I use it on my 22s too. They seem to be, because how they're formulated for a car engine, they run better, in my opinion, in the winter times, just because they're lower viscosity, and I don't see increased foul malfunctions with them. So that's what I'm using. They're inexpensive. I have leftovers from changing oil in my car, so that's what I've been running for the most part. Yeah,
Okay.
plating M Pro 7. I really like that. It does strip down basically all the finishes, not finishes, but like all the lubricant you have on usually your bolt. So definitely re-lubricate after you're done. I'm not a huge fan of CLPs. I like them for range, just so you can do some infield stuff. But in my opinion, it seems that a combination product never worked as well as just, clean was the cleaner, lubricate was the lubricant, and then protect was gun oil. That's how I do it anyway.
I think until you get down to like freezing temperatures, lube is lube.
Yep.
Like lube is lube. For me, like that's why there's so many different things in my bag, because I don't really care what I use for lubricant. I'll use whatever's in there. What I do care about is the cleaning part, getting the bolt off, or like getting the carbon off the bolt. Yep. I'll run a bore snake through my shotgun and my rifle. Not a big deal. I love them for that. I'll soak the end with some solvent. It's got the wire brush in there, and if you want, you can even do the lubricant on the backside. Like it's great. So that's where I'm at. Where lube is lube until you start getting down to the cooler temps where like you don't want to be using something like frog lube. Or if you're going to use frog lube, do the heat treat.
I've got a couple of guns that do like frog lube that I know, like when it gets cold, it's like if I'm going to go to the range, I have to re-lube those guns before I go to the range, or else they're not going to run for a bit.
Yeah.
But so for myself, like I said, there's my.
That's going to have to interrupt for a second because.
Oh, that's cool.
Because Kyle mentioned shotgun. So when I was a youngling, because I don't want to blow myself up, I clean my shotgun barrels squeaky clean, like because they're chrome lined, it's reflective inside. And what you're shooting out of shotguns is wads, right? They're plastic, they leave a streak. So what I found is the Hobby's tornado brush, and don't use them on old guns, especially like not chrome lined guns. Bad for them. Don't do that.
Stainless steel. Ooh.
Yeah, it's a stainless steel brush.
I don't like it.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. But for a chrome,
and I sent mine away for force cone work, so my chrome lining is basically null and void now too. But no, I don't like that.
Which is fair. So
like when it comes down to it, like okay, so this was stainless steel, so it's stronger to get the plastic out of the barrel. Looking at it, you still need your rod, your cleaning rod. So take the brass brush on the cleaning rod, throw it in a drill. I'm dead serious.
Do that.
You do it a couple times in and out. Your plastic is gone, and you're not risking stripping away your chrome lining by hitting it with a stainless steel brush.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Just saying, this product does exist.
I like the tried and true stuff. For me, like I said, so this is my kit. It says gun cleaning kit on it, mostly because this is also the one that I'll haul to like the prop truck if we're doing that kind of thing. Labeled, obviously, never any like if we're cleaning guns, everything's clear and safe. There's no bullets around. Anyways, this gun, this case is not allowed to have anything ammunition related anywhere near it for those reasons, because it does get used like that sometimes. But it's like toolboxes are nifty for this. Like,
Yeah.
I've got all my like extra bits. Oh, that one, and this one will be easier for camera. So, we got all the bits that I need there. Super handy. Having like just pull out tray for all of your, tools and picks, and I've got some Loctite in there. Got every tool known to man that I could conceivably need. Lots of patches. I even got a little multi-tool. I got a couple of bore flashlights, and then like the inside of this thing again, bigger tools. You're talking about Q-tips. We got lots of hoppies. We got spray hoppies. We got not spray hoppies.
Well, I had the spray stuff, and then I just didn't buy it again because the can stopped working, and I still had like 3/4 of it left. So I was like, no, I'm just gonna get the solvent, and then I will use whatever lube is available.
You just think about punching the can to get the rest of it out.
But I've got
No, I did not type.
I would have tried to salvage that.
We've got old T-shirts. If anybody, like old T-shirts work as patches and gun cleaning stuff as well. And then my favorite little so as far as that final finish, putting a little bit of gun oil on on just like a microfiber cloth just to give it that nice finish. Yes, he's got to do same
It's
thing.
hanging on my bench.
Yeah, it's important. That's the last step. But I don't know. I think it is an essential thing, and I encounter a lot of gun owners that either haven't built themselves a kit or don't really know where to start. I know all of those, those big kind of all-in-one kits are a great place to start. Most of what's here was birthed out of I got a couple of those as gifts when I really started getting into guns. I don't think I had to buy myself too much gun stuff to start with for cleaning, because they're good Christmas gifts.
Yeah. Well, I had a bunch of those. I think Tony was showing a few. They're just the generic all-in-one kits. Some of them even have plastic push rods.
Oh, don't like those.
And they're no name or whatever. And yeah, I had a bunch of those. I left those behind, but that it was nice if you needed a consumable thing or whatever, or you're just starting out. I do like that Real Avid stuff because it is quality stuff, and but you do pay a bit more for it though too.
It's functional for getting into it, right? Usually,
if you're once in a while, whatever's going to work is going to work. Heck, the old-fashioned patches. My big thing with patches is you end up going through so many patches.
That was why I started using T-shirts too. I'll rip up T-shirts into little patches, especially for the shotgun. Actually, that's the thing, because it's so big and bulky. It's easier than putting a bunch of patches. I'm just crappy old T-shirt, through the tube a couple of times. That's my go-to. I also buy patches on Amazon because you can I have a giant bag of them in there, way more than I need. So, but the patches are nice for anything that's a small cal, 22 in and around there, 223. Having something that's really kind of small to be able to put down the barrel is kind of nice. Anyway, yeah, that's all I had to add for that. I just had to go show off my toolbox. My black and blue toolbox.
There you go.
But yeah, is that anybody else got anything to add? No.
It was a quick one. I know we've talked about cleaning stuff before, but that's a good. Just some things to consider, different options. I'm in between. Sometimes I do like the push rod, but the bore snake just makes it so quick and easy. Those will not leave my kit. Those will. Yeah. It's not like this stuff's replacing my bore snakes. It's just further adding to my kit and that. So
I never go hunting without a bore snake.
It's so easy. Just tough it down there and 1-2 swipes and you're good.
Yep. I learned that the hard way. That was the thing I think I didn't talk about when we were talking about hunting. When I had that fall that should have hurt me and didn't, the gun went into the dirt, and it was that thing. So it's got a muzzle brake on it, and there was some dirt past the muzzle brake, and I had nothing to get at it. I was like, I can't use this gun anymore. I have to go home now. And that was the last time I ever went out without one.
I think it's actually important to mention. I don't think you can mention this enough, especially there might be some new shooters. I know a lot of our listeners probably know this, but go from chamber to muzzle. You're gonna think it's a pain in the butt. You'll pull the bolt out and just do it. Just go chamber to muzzle. Don't drag all that dirt and crap into the gun.
Nope.
Just get it out of there. And that's the best way I got to explain it. Don't bring it back into the gun. Just get it out.
Yeah, that is useful and fundamental information for sure.
I'm still surprised that the Canadian firearm program doesn't teach that.
You're surprised that they don't teach that?
Yeah, I've
not at all. I'm
cleaned my first rifle the other way around before.
They barely teach you how.
But
They show you a couple things for how to shoot a gun. It's all safety. Like it's.
Yeah.
I don't expect them to teach you how to clean a gun at all, and I'm not surprised they don't.
No, the Canadian Firearms, safety course is there to make sure that you can safely operate a firearm. It's not there to teach you how to clean and maintain your guns. I think the guy that gave my course was like, there's YouTube videos for days for that. So
every gun is different.
Yep. Knowledge and, a particular method of cleaning this gun could wreck that gun. So, there's a lot of that. Yeah. Well, should we call it a night there?
Sure. Let's,
do we want to go listener feedback?
Well, yeah, we still got that to do. We can carry on with the show and finish up.
I'm not trying to wrap us up. I'm just trying to wrap us in that direction.
Yes.
Assuming we don't have anything more new to bring to the cleaning kit conversation. No? Okay. Do we who has it? We had one live interaction thanks to
Mondak. Mondak WX.
Yeah, he presumably got his moment.
He watches. He told me he's a coworker of mine up in Montana. So he told me he usually watches when we go on Twitch. He's a quiet guy. If he has something to say, he says it. If not, he watches and enjoys.
Well, special shout out to Mondax then. That's cool. Tony, do we have any emails for you to read?
We don't have an email, but we do have a new Patreon member.
Ooh, that's new and exciting.
Yeah, so we have a new Patreon, Alex J for 762.
Oh, ooh.
39 or by 54R?
It's
762. It's
762.
Yeah.
Let's see, Mondak's still here.
There you go. We do have YouTube comments. First one is from Bob Changstick. Absolutely zero chemistry between hosts. 10 out of 10. I don't know if I take it as a compliment or not. But
was that last?
That was last week's.
Last week's episode, correct.
Hey, and there you go. That was on the YouTube podcast version as well. So there's
podcast version. So it's the audio only version.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's the first listen I've seen on that.
Yeah. Illegal, as in echo-legal Canadian. I'm not sure about hunting laws in Ontario, but when I heard Kelly say she would shoot a deer and allow someone else to put a tag on it, I felt it would be prudent to mention that this may not be a legal practice, depends upon where you live. I know that in New Brunswick, that 100% is against the law, and doing so will cost you dearly. Pardon the pun. Like I said, I don't know the law in Ontario, so people need to realize that law varies across the country, and new hunters really need to familiarize themselves before heading into the bush. Food for thought. Thank you.
Yep.
Very legal Canadian. I'm not too sure how that works.
It's you shoot the animal, it's your tag.
It's your tag.
Now, with that said, there are places that do allow group hunts, or they sell like a group hunt tag.
Yeah.
Even Alberta, some of their draws can be done as group hunt.
Yeah.
But
I believe so, yes.
I mean, I stand to be proven wrong in this, but I think pretty much across the country, it's your tag, you shoot it. Unless you are on one of these group tags.
And I think like the nice thing, I know at least for me, because like when I went and did that duck hunt, that was my first time with that. And, along with my stamp and all my paperwork, they gave me a brand new fresh copy of the hunting regs for specifically for waterfowl. And it's like, oh, this is really useful. Just like, brush up on this. Just like I was with a couple of guys that knew everything that needed to be done, but still, most of the time, if folks are new and you're just getting your first like hunting license and your first deer tag or anything like that, ask for a copy of the regs for where you are.
They're free.
Yeah.
And stuff changes every year. So it doesn't matter how good you know the regs. Every year stuff changes. So like in Alberta, every year I get them. The first page I go to is important changes for that year. They put it right there that your major changes for that year.
Yeah, and sometimes they can be pretty dramatic.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there were some pretty dramatic ones. Like I remember one year, if you had a cow elk draw, you could still go and get a bull elk general.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, so, some of this stuff that changes does work for your favor, but you got to read the regs every year. And I think, does BC do the same thing where they have important changes for that year? Yeah.
Yeah, and we've got like a great booklet that they put out that I actually appreciate getting a copy of every year.
Well, BC's core hunter education system is really good.
Dude, it's top notch. Like I've told lots and lots of people, go get your core. Even like there's
Even
a lot
if you
of
don't not in BC, you've never hunted or anything, go take that core course. Yeah, you're gonna have to do the Alberta one if you're in Alberta, assuming, but if you're new and never done it, go take that. That core course is so good.
It
really actually teaches you survival stuff and everything. And Alberta's tries to, but it's There was a lot of like little nuancy stuff that I really appreciated when it's like I got brought up hunting. It wasn't like I was a complete idiot when I moved out here and didn't know anything, but there was a lot of little nuanced stuff. And like you said, things change every year as well. And there's some really awesome folks that are really passionate that put the core course on. And even if you're not planning on going hunting, I don't know, it doesn't hurt to consider it. Go take your core course. Decide then if you don't want to go hunting. Yeah.
Any other comments there, Tony?
Of course, we have a comment on our most popular video, Grisand Testing and Review. Northside Angler 8046 mentioned that the hosts are playing was the whole thing. Mine's running flawlessly, only ran waterfowl loads so far through it. Glad I pulled the trigger before the prices skyrocket. That is on the Grisand MCE 312.
Oh, okay.
Joe's Shop and Outdoors. Tony, 338 ARC for your new rifle. You missed the topic, though. I said you have to give me a compelling reason, although I've looked into the 338 ARC. So basically, the shrunken version of A6 Blackout. A few things. First, it's in the ARC family of cartridges. And it's not really done yet. It's like not quite finalized yet. You can't find barrels for them. I know Faxon makes them, they say, but they don't really. So yeah, 638 ARC is still kind of on the horizon. A valid option for some, I bet. And the last three comments are from Eddie. Callie, congrats on bagging a deer. A buttonberg is good eating. You and Adriel got the veal of deers, which is correct. Could you take out the wild turkey under the
guys
of pest control?
Under the guys
of pest control or crop protection? Do you need a tag for that? Probably.
Well, that he's asking if you can do it under pest control or crop protection, like a coyote or something.
I think that might be
you might be able to build a compelling argument for that.
Yeah, depending on where you are. Yeah.
Interesting. Second comment, Adriel. Yes, shot placement is the most important thing in bagging game. I will say bullet construction is also very important. If the projectile fragments on impact, they might not reach the vital. To play devil's advocate about shot placement over caliber size, I've taken a bore with a gut shot before. It was running downhill left to right. When I took the shot, it ran squealed for about 20 yards before dropping dead. I was using 12 gauge with a rifle barrel and a sable slug. The massive blood loss quickly proved to be fatal. I'm not championing a caliber size over shot placement, but bigger caliber do allow for some leeway on shot placement. I would tend to agree with that.
Absolutely. I mean, if you're shooting a 50 BMG,
don't
really need that close of a shot placement. As long as you just connect any part of it, it's probably going down.
Yeah. Yeah, this is very true. That's always going to be a dance you play, right?
Yeah.
And Eddie, I think he's backing me up on the Lapua versus Lapua thing. Tony, your pronunciation of Lapua is pretty good. There's a YouTube video on the topic where a rep from Lapua says it properly. I haven't watched it, so I'm not sure if I'm doing it correctly. I also had the opportunity to ask a Finnish shooter personally at an ISSF World Cup event, and he pronounced it Lapua. So I guess Lapua it is. I picked it up from Vortex Nation, where some of their band trash shooters are discussing brass and brands and whatever, and that's how they mentioned it. So I picked it up as not Lapua. Anyway, that's all the YouTube comments for today.
Cool.
Thank you for reading those. I will probably go to my grave calling it Lapua. So
there's things that can't. For some reason, Lapua is something I can fix to become Lapua, but like I cannot say carbine as carbine just because.
Really?
Well, yeah, there's some.
Because in Chinese, a short rifle will be directly translated as a carbine. So
yeah, see, I can use them interchangeable, carbine, carbine.
I can comfortably do both. I just call it a carbine.
Oh, and I'm the same with you. I'll probably be calling it Lapua, but example, I will always say Porsche.
Yeah, I will say that too.
Oh, okay. The one that gets is a proper B in my bonnet, and I don't know why, because I'm not. I love America. It drives me crazy when they call it a foyer. Can't do it. It's a French word.
What are you supposed to
foyer.
call it?
Foyer.
Oh, foyer. Yeah, correct.
And so yeah, we all get our little ticks on little grammatical.
Oh, yeah.
I think when I was in high school, people are 50-50 on it, so I don't have a strong leniency against one or another.
I'm foyer.
Yeah.
Foyer does sound more correct to me, though.
I'm super gay. I watch a lot of those house shows from time to time. They're all foyer, and it drives me crazy. So it's foyer. And on that bombshell, do we have anything from what we bought from Cabela's? I don't see anything. Brownells. We have an affiliate link to Cabela's and Brownells on the side of the slamfireradio.com website. By using the links, you help support the show, and we'll talk about your purchases anonymously, of course, at the end of every month. And then I guess it's thanks to our supporters and Patreon and Player. Again, special thanks to Alex J for your 762 new patronage. And if you'd like to support us on Player or Patreon, please do. If you would like to email the show, send an email to slamfireradio@gmail.com, and Tony will be awesome and read it and respond to it. Tony, I believe you need to have your own little spin-off side series of Slamfire that's Tony's Ammo Obscura. That's the name I'm running out.
I'm only getting one, and I'm very responsible. I load my own ammo, so it doesn't really matter. As long as Lee makes die for it, I got it.
Yeah, but think about it. You could spin it into a whole little side media thing for yourself. Your exploration and all these the balance that you could go for days.
I don't have so much time each week to think about it. It's like, man, I can't get a barrel links and this for this because Canada, you can't have this. Oh man, things like that. It's terrible.
Fair. On that note, I guess we just got shout outs, podcast recommendations, YouTube sites. Adriel doesn't get to make shout outs, neither does Kelly. My shout out, oh my goodness. Shout out to all the awesome Americans I got to hang out with the last week. It was really great, and every time I'm down there, it's harder to come back. Tony, shout outs?
Shout out to the listener, Top J Norris, for providing an entertainment and informational discussion on our Discord, and I'll preemptively shout out to my coworker, Ernesto, for probably coming on a hunt with me, probably going home empty-handed. We'll see about that.
Don't go in there with that attitude.
Oh,
Yeah, go in.
you get something.
No.
There's this saying: if you
That's
expect more, the more disappointed you will become.
There's also a saying: if you plan for failure, you get it.
Yep.
Good call.
If you don't think you're going to get anything, you're not going to walk through the bush like you're going to get anything, and you're just going to drive everything away.
It's true. I'm going to shout out on behalf of Dave because his voice was getting out and he quit on us. But the ORA range staffers, Gavin for being Dave's range buddy last weekend. Shout outs on Dave.
From a long time ago, but maybe.
They're there.
Yeah.
Kyle, any shout outs?
Yeah, I'm going to shout out Bodie for running our local match last weekend when I wasn't able to be there. So he stepped up, chose the classifiers, and dealt with all the tablets and that. I know it was a challenge for him, but I appreciate everything he did for that. So.
Well, on that, should we call it a night?
I think so.
Well, good night, everybody. I also it's obligatory, especially since she's not here. Good night, Kelly.
Good night, Kelly.
See you everyone next week.
See you next week, everybody.